What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two-Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast. And today, we have a really special guest in the building. Listen, this man is a certified Grammy-winning engineer, a tour and studio engineer, a production coordinator, a DJ, and so much more. Listen, this is one of those unsung heroes of reggae music and so much music right across the globe. You know, we have in the building today, we have SNAKIE, the legend, in the building today. What's going on, big boss?
Hey, man, it's my pleasure to finally sit down and have a chat with you.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Entertainment Report podcast today.
Yes, man. Finally, I'm in the building.
Oh, man, you get it. Because somebody like you that's done so much work in the business, reggae and hip-hop, R&B, and other type of music, it's definitely going to be a great conversation to unearth some of the secret gems that you have there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So on this podcast, we like to go right from the beginning and then bring it right up to 2022. So my first question for you is this. Where did you grow up in Jamaica, and what type of child were you?
Well, you know, I was born in a Alman town. That's Kingston. Then, you know, my family, you know, we shifted a little bit and we go Franklin town. And then in 76, we moved to Rallington town, so I can relate more with Rallington town than anywhere else, East Kingston. And you know, I was a good kid. A good kid, never give no problem at all. I'm a very strict set of parents, you know, and not putting up to no foolishness. Yeah.
What did you think you were going to get into when you grew up older? Did you think you're going to become a doctor, a lawyer? What did you think you were going to get into at that point there?
You know, to tell you the truth, you know, I know I was going to do music, right? I never know exactly what in music, but I know I was drawn to music. I was always looking in that entertainment field, music, right? That's the only thing I can remember liking, loving from a little tadpole all the way up, music.
What was it about music that you liked so much that just drew your attention to it?
It's just the whole vibe, the dancing and just the happy feeling when music put you in. And growing up, my daddy had a little record changer. We call it record changer. Right? And he used to play me like a 45 when we used to dance. He used to dance, and we used to watch him dance. And forget to love it, you know? And from then, we just don't say, yeah, you see this music thing is a part of me.
From there. So even before we even get further into the music, you say you grew up East Kingston. What was the neighborhood like at that time there, East Kingston, growing up in the area?
Well, funny, when we moved from Franklin town into Rallington town was like a vineyard town. You couldn't move into vineyard town because vineyard town, you know, there's a different kind of money area that. So the next step down was Rallington town, and Rallington town was really, really nice. Because when you tell a man say you live in Rallington town, they're like, oh, okay, you know. And Rallington town, you know, it put out some decent you know, kids in the workforce and thing. So Rallington town was a very quiet community. Eventually it started to, you know, decline a little bit. I mean, I never said deteriorate, you know, but it had declined a little teeny bit where, you know, it was one of man group and one of man decided, you know, they want to turn gunman and thing, and, you know, but in you know, just the whole Rallington town. But I love Rallington, but still love Rallington town. We still love Rallington town because that's like that's the place where we can say is home. You know, if we run go back to Jamaica right now, a Rallington town coming in nowhere else.
And what were your parents into? What were your parents? Where were they working at that time there when you're in Rallington town?
Well, my dad was a welder, and a burglar bar and everything that my dad great at it. Man, skill is a shame. And my mother though, my mother worked in a betting shop. Back in the news, you have the betting shop where you go place your bet, and you know. So you know, that's what me used to see them do, and you know, I don't say Yeah, and you know, it's exciting. I'm go work with my dad, Mr. The ass race I go on and when I beat them and everybody excited. But I never mind think that. Minister Dan to come on, go back and listen to the radio or, you know, music and show the music there. That's what people want to go.
Right there. So it was even because, yeah, you said your dad had a changer. So that was the only...
I like a thing when the 45 go on the car, but so the changer.
So that was your only connection to music in your house. There wasn't no other connection. Nobody else was singing, DJing, or doing anything at that time there.
Well, no. Other than the fact that my mother and my father used to always go out and look at party, you know, the big people party, and you know, yeah, that was it. That was it. There was no other DJ. Even though my daddy always tell me, say, you know, we come from a musical background because his dad, which is my granddad, used to play in a little, you know, neighborhood little get together group, you know, play a little fife, and you know, we call it flute today. You know what? So music is coming in the blood, you know.
There. So then, was it now outside of the house? Now, what were your first steps to actually start to get into music when you were in school? Did you join the band, the choir? What were you doing when you were in school?
You know, when I was in grade 5, I don't know how I ended up on the school choir. I don't know how that happened, but we ended up on the school choir. We went to some competition that they had, and you know, I don't remember what was school place, but I think for that grade 5 year and that 5th, you know, grade, but that's it. And then grade 6, now my ears and eyes and everything just wide open to music. Because I can remember that we had what's known as fear, school fear, and that, you know, the neighborhood sound system would come in, and I tell you, it's from that time me hear music playing on a loud system, a big system like that, and it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, music can be this nice one, you know, and that's it. That's it from right. Sorry, no, that's it.
Did you also like equipment, also like the sound system itself, or was just more or less the music at this time here?
Well, back right then, it was just listening to the music. You know, I never know how it happened, how it worked. I just know that they put on some big box and a guy stand up around it and he play the music, and that was it. And most fascinating thing I've ever seen in my life at that time.
Right there. And I know earlier you were also a break dancer.
Yes, so I will tell you, when we reach grade 6 now, you know, when we reach grade 6, suddenly the teacher, I can't hear a word the teacher say in the classroom no more. Because it's all about the electronic music we start learning. I come from America, we start doing the break dancing, you know. And funny, I was an A student going to school, right? It's fear 90s and them things that me knock out in my test them. So for sure, your music take me for another level now. I never even passed my common entrance, and everybody's still in surprise. Because I'm on where I get 90 all along. I feel common entrance, something wrong, but it's the music. No regrets, you know. Yeah. Absolutely no regrets. It's the music.
So then how did you get into breakdancing there then?
Well, Franklinton used to have a crew named Fresh Punk. And Fresh Punk was like a real good breakdance crew. You know, with Fretty, my good friend Fretty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. East Connection start right there with my good friend Fretty. So we used to do the dance, we used to watch the cassettes, and so we go on in New York and learn the dance, and you know, we do the dance, and that was the thing. That was coming in at the time. You know, it's this new sensation, you know, break dancing.
And where were you actually hearing the music coming from America at this time? Were people bringing it down? You heard it on the radio? Where were you hearing the music?
Yeah, I had friends. I had good friends in school who every holiday, you know, they used to travel to New York, and when them come back, you know, we don't care about the clothes that them bring back, or the shoes, or the apples that them used to sneak out about. we just want to hear the cassette from the stations in New York. We just want to hear the hot fire, you know? That's how we want. We want to come from foreign. We don't care about nothing else. We just want to hear about the cassette and when we record off of the radio. So that's what we get. That's what we start hearing what was happening, you know, up on there for the New York side.
Right there. So even now, breakdancing, do you guys enter any local competitions or anything as a breakdancing crew at this time here now?
Well, I never made it inside the group, but I was on the outside. So any which part of the group go, I was there too. You call it a support, right? And then you know, as the years you know slowly creep by, you know, I start hanging out to the Rallington Town guys. Them know that's the Mud Squad, a different dance group. So it's just it's always been support because my parents don't know so me I do all these things, you know, it's sneak and you know when you go back home, if you buck up daddy outside and there's a different scenario that you know. So it's just it's the love of the music and the love keeping if I follow the music because you know the consequences when you get caught outside of your house after certain hours.
So they still thought you were going to school, or what did they think you were supposed to be doing at that time there?
So I used to go to teacher for extra lesson. So that was a getaway of mine. And sometimes I would go to the store, or you know, go buy something out by the store, and you know, hopefully your hopes that you know your mommy will go inside or your daddy will go inside and leave you outside, and you really and should leave Rallington Town and end up at Franklin Town. It's all in following the music.
So you were following a particular song, or you were just out there wherever the music was at?
Then it was just everybody with a boom box. First it was I started getting hooked to the you know big sound, big what they call a ghetto blaster. You have to carry it on your shoulder. Two people carry it. You know that was the in thing. That was the in thing in 89, 90. I mean, yeah, 79, 80, 81. Right. It's after that now. I start hearing Blackstone. And Blackstone used to play music, you know. Funny, the Blackstone used to play music, but then Blackstone started playing some boogie music, and that is what my ears got hooked to. Once I hear the boogie music, I start drawing myself to Blackstone, which was just down at the bottom of my road, and it wasn't far. But like I said, I never hear the reggae. They play the reggae, but I never hear it till they start playing the boogie music, and I'm like, oh yeah.
But this was similar. Was this similar to stuff you were hearing off of the radio coming out from New York at that time there?
Yes, because Blackstone had a connection. Blackstone had folks overseas who started sending down the hot music. So they start playing it. And Blackstone started them start playing regular now, and people know say it's not a dancehall song, but it's more a party song. You know, that's how they start being dubbed as a party song. Yeah. From there.
So then at this time here, who was playing Blackstone at this time here when you were first introduced to it?
I call this the first tier guys. You used to have a guy by the name of Andrew. Yeah. Andrew was a different kind of DJ. Up until this day, I can't remember seeing Andrew play. So is a calm guy. You know, DJ is a hype feel. Whether you want to be a hype or not, is a hype feel. And he was a calm guy. And being calm and produce a party settings like that, you know, it was different. It still stand out up until this day. And there was Mikey, and there was Oris, Samson, and Alex IG, one called Dicky. You know, those were the first tier Blackstone. And you know, once me come amongst them and me start tell them no, so yo, me start tell Andrew, yo, me can play music, you know. Me can play music, you know. More I play music, you know. And that is from me want to play music, so I can play music. So one day they say, come on Piper's Lounge. So if the Piper's Lounge open 8 o'clock, about 6:30, but that Piper's Lounge set up outside. Because me, I can play music now. So never touch a turntable before. Never played never played music before or nothing like that. Never got into a record box before. I step in bowl and bossy. And they say, all right, see the record box, see the record, see the turntable. Me play music. So this is the funniest part of the entire night, you know, because in give me the headphone, I put on the headphone. A song was playing, and I take up another record and say, I go play this record. And even the song that was played, I already done. We still have on the headphone, I rock and still don't have a clue what is going on. but you see that one night, you see that first night? Never will I forget that. Never. Because Andrew realized that, look, if a man really take a chance like this, he must really want to learn this thing.
Got you.
Yeah, so me start get my first lesson from Andrew. I'm give props. We give props every day, and even right now, playing current right now this day. Andrew is actually now, Andrew who was the teacher, is now listening to me play. And there's no better feeling in the world than that right there. Yeah.
What was it that he showed you about music now? Because as you said, clearly he knew that you didn't know anything about what you're talking about. He took you under your wing. What were some of the things that he showed you about music at the early steps when you guys connected? I
remember the first thing Andrew told me. Andrew said, if you want to learn how to play music, you're going to have to know music. You're going to have to know music. In other words, you're going to have to learn this record box. Take away playing music for the time being. Him say, you're going to have to know the record box. You're going to have to know how this whole system works. You're going to have to know how it moves. You're going to have to know how it's set up. All these things you have to know before you start playing music. Because only then would you appreciate playing music. I mean, like, those advice right there sticking in my brain. I know it like my social security number.
Got you. And this time, and what type of music was it that he was teaching at this time? Was it more the disco, more dance hall? What type of music were you learning at this time?
Since Blackstone was a party song, I start learning bits and pieces of different genre of music on a fast pace.
Got you.
Blackstone had a format. Up until this day, I still use that format that Blackstone used. And anybody who's coming in the music business, I will tell them, if you master this format, you will be a decent DJ. What Blackstone did, Blackstone would always start their event playing boogie music just to get the blood flowing. Blackstone would play, so from that I learned the format. So I would play boogie music, and then he would go to reggae, and then they would slow it down with some slow jam, and then maybe they'll put some soca in, and then go back to boogie music, and it's a cycle. So Blackstone was playing inside a Piper's Lounge. So you get to learn not only one genre of music. So you learn 5 slow jam, you learn 2 extra boogie song, you learn some more reggae, and it just keep adding up, until time pass where I can start pack out the records for the DJs. Because I know over pack it out now. Because that was my only focus, Once you learn the box, you have to learn the box, and there was no getting around it. Record, a man play a record and just pass it over his shoulder. You have to put it back into the case and put it back, learning the box.
And you have to know exactly where to put it back specifically also.
Because when they turn around and say, pass so-and-so, you have to can't pass it because he wants it right now. You have to know the box. That was one of the things, knowing the box. Totally different from today kind of DJ.
You get that 100%. So what was it like your first night actually got to play on the song now? What was that like?
You know, started around Blackstone, and Piper's Lounge is inside of Piper's Lounge. I get to actually start putting on record on turntable, and between Andrew and Orison used to watch me and teach me all for crossfade music, and how to just cross it over real nice, because people dancing them slow jam, they don't want no surprises with music. So they would do all the work and then say, come bring this cross. And I learned the crossfading, the art of crossfading, moving from one, not even the mixing yet, just moving from one song smoothly over to the other. So that was my first experience on turntable, start doing something. The DJ them set it up and them know what they want to play. And I'm just say, come bring across this. And I never mind it. I will run from a mile for come bring it across.
Yeah. Because you're doing your stuff in Piper's Lounge. So at this time, are you like the new young youth around Blackstone at this time here now?
I was still going to school and inside a Piper's Lounge. I don't know how that happened, but I know I was going to school 9th grade and inside a Piper's Lounge as a little boy.
Because you love the music,
I love it.
So then because you said the first tier had a certain set of people on it, so then when did the second tier of Black Star start to really build out now?
Well, Andrew migrated, and then the sound owner Oris start really playing. Oris and Lance was the sound owner, and they had to step up and start playing. So that is how I start getting in, play, every now and then, man may need a bathroom break real quick, or somebody can talk to him, and I have to start the next song, and starting one song become playing 2 songs, and, able enough to play 2 songs, so I play like 3 or 4 songs. Then a man want to talk to a girl, SNAKIE, come deal with this. And I never mind it, I wish him to talk for the rest of the night. And I started playing, and I learned this thing real fast. I must have learned the thing fast, unbelievable. Yeah, I learned the thing real fast. So after Andrew left, I started bringing myself in. I started positioning myself, and that's how I get in.
And who else was the team that was being built around you now as a younger guy who's coming into the sound?
Shortly after, a few months went by, and then Weber came along. Weber was a bad selector, but Weber never used to have a permanent sound. Weber is a man now. He used to outfund the main and the sound out there. So is Weber, because Weber was like the neighborhood sound champion, everybody like Weber selection. So Weber start, Weber come around Blackstone now and bring the vibe from out of the street and bring the crowd with him, and me start playing early. Weber come in and start, and then from Weber there was another brethren named Jumbo, and then it's a transitional period right there now, because just about then I started going to Jammys. So I never have as much time to really be around the sound as much. So I start fading out, and Weber really started taking the full 100 as the Blackstone DJ. I was still there. But between going to Jammys and I had a little run-in with Skateland. So I start going to Skateland on the side too.
Yeah. So, okay, because it was Jammys came first or Skateland came first?
Well, Jammys came, because Blackstone started cutting dub plate, and like I said, we still have a school. Gone and cut dub plate on Jammys. So, you know, everything I do is unbelievable because at an early age when I'm doing it, nobody else was doing it like that. So going to school, leave school, gone down to Jammys, cut dub plate, 1 and 2 dub plate, Blackstone started cutting dub. And then but you know, then we started Skateland.
Then you started, okay, so then with Jammys here now, how come they sent you, say, okay, you go cut the dubs? It wasn't really anybody else cutting the dubs at that time there.
Blackstone was a very good song. But there was an issue. Every other song was playing dub plate. And as much as Blackstone used to run the party scene, it come to a point now where people want to hear some new things. They want to hear some new things. Yes, Blackstone run things and Blackstone play the parties 45 them. But this new sensation of dub plate was taking over. So we had no other choice but to force and fight to the owner until them say, okay, all right. All right, go cut 2 dub. We get a little package and we go down a Waterhouse and strange to Waterhouse. We step in a Waterhouse and yeah, you know, we're going to the dub room and it's funny, I already come and I already know how me want to hear the dub. First, me I go in the studio, but I know how me want to hear the sound. So me used to always tell Genius how me want the dub sound, because by then, Duck Rhythm just came out. So I was hearing that rhythm and other sound system. It never started playing on the radio yet, because it just I doubt if they actually put out those 45 yet. I'm gonna start hearing them on sound system. So I know the rhythm. So I tell them I knock the box and tell them all the rhythm going. So, oh, you hear the Duck Rhythm, and I tell them, oh, I want to hear it. So every time, you know, like we used to go and put a little 1 dub or a 1 side dub and 2 shooter and come back. So I used to start tell them, oh, me want it. So I remember clearly, Genius just get up one day and say, every day you tell me, oh, for cut dub, oh, for do my work. Well, will you not sit down and do it then?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Shouldn't have said that. That's an opportunity, right? Me sit down on that like a mixing board of Jammys have. And you that thing said me work at Jammys for years, because when me I punch out to the things upon the man of my DJ and the special and everybody that's place on the fire. And then I say, how old am brother? How old are you tell?
Because Jammys is one of the studios, especially their dub studios, is one of the few studios I knew that you could actually manipulate the rhythm. Every other studios, the rhythm was basically set. Yeah, you could mix it down, but Jammys, you could take this out. You could take out a hi-hat. You could take out a bass and all of those stuff there. So that's how you were manipulating the rhythms that you were cutting the dub plates on.
That's all. I don't know how comes I've never been in studio before. This is the funny part. Never been in studio. But I know for a fact that I want to punch out some things here and take out some things there. And from I tell Genius how I want it, and I watch him and I see the button they may press. That lock in, and I know exactly which part of them they know. So I can do it. Yes, fun.
So then whenever you went to Jammys, you were basically started to engineer the Blackstone dubs at this time here after a while.
And then if anybody was because sometimes you find an artist do 3 songs for 3 different sound, one back to back. So it's when I do Blackstone first, I say no, mix my and the sound man may say, yo, tell you to mix my I don't know more for mix my thing. And you just sit down and do the thing.
So you weren't official with Jammys at this time here. You're just going around cutting your dubs and then you go about your business, cut 1 and 2 stuff for other people also.
Yeah. Got Jammys on a Saturday, cut a look at dub, and 2 look at sound man asked me for just mix for them dub too, and yeah.
That's how so then when did you officially get into the dub room at Jammys now? Say, okay, you're official now.
You know, it's Jammys brother, Uncle T. Uncle T that I went Saturday, you know. I see me I cut dub plate for Blackstone. And actually see me sit down around the board, you know, and I do the thing. And Uncle T, when we done cut the dub, and Uncle T called me and said, you know, more you come learn this thing, you know. Come learn this thing so you can work inside it properly. And that was it. That was it. Remember when at the end of the conversation, we cut some more dub plate at the evening and we get $100. Uncle T slipped me $100. Never forget it. First paycheck that to do. I think that paycheck, the first pay that $100.
That's crazy because up until this point, did you have any other normal jobs or anything up until this point here?
Nope.
No job or anything.
Right out of school, still a cut dub. Right out of school.
Yeah. All right. So then now you're employed with Jammys. Now you're cutting dubs for a lot of songs coming through the Jammys right now.
Yep. Everybody wanted a little young youth for come mix them. All the artists are going to dub plate and me out to eat my lunch, you know. Yo, brother. They wanted a little young youth, a little young vibe, you know.
Who were some of the artists that you were actually working with at that point there?
Bunny General never leave me out. Pompidou, nah, got to no dub plate without calling me. Flower Gun, Daddy Lizard. Red Dragon, you know, rest in peace. Mm-hmm. All of them artists, Derrick Irie, Clement Irie, all of them artists there. Mm-hmm. The Johnny P, and when Ninja Man come round, and when Tiger come round, the Admiral, you know, the entire Jammys crew.
Because that was the big studio at that time. Everybody would come around at Jammys at that time there.
Yeah, and you know, anybody who was, you know, somebody who try make it into the music business always end up at Jammys. So, you know, everybody, some artists, you don't even know them name, they might call your name, but them just want a reason for getting another dub studio so they can cut to a dub. Everybody was there. Everybody at the music business was trying, or who actually made it. Because Jammys Studio is a three-part thing, you know. You have the road, outside on the road. Then you have the inside of the yard. And then you have the studio. Mm. So you have a big gathering outside, out on the road. Those people on the road don't make it to reach the yard yet. They don't reach the yard yet. Yeah. And then you have those who make it into the yard now, but still don't make it to the studio yet. Mm-hmm. So you know, it's like a process. It's like a process coming into the studio. So everybody want to know the look of young youth. Because if you know the young youth, maybe you can walk in when the young youth are going in. So, well, I tell you, it was fun working at Jammys. It was fun.
Do you remember doing anything with Shabba Ranks back at that time there, the early days when you were in the dub room?
Well, Shabba Ranks used to come and do dubs occasionally. Mm-hmm. Occasionally. That was way before contract signing, you know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, because I have exclusive Shabba Ranks and Blackstone. Well, we have Shabba start to sound like he's rapping, and then going into a hardcore, original, you know, Shabba style. Mm-hmm. So you know, Shabba used to come there, and you know, when Shabba come there, everybody knows him come. Cause you hear the crowd out the door, and more sound man, I don't know all them years of Shabba the boat, and the sound man them turn up. So you know, Shabba was the one of them man that were hang out of the studio. Mm.
He would come for something, you know what I mean? Say, okay, I'm coming today to come do dubs or whatever.
I'm come deal with some things.
Mm-hmm. At that time there. All right, so then now, because we're going to keep Jammys in mind, but this is when Skateland came into your life also at the same time too. How did you even connect with a place like Skateland?
All right, I'll back up a little bit now. So now, just before we started out fully at Jammys, I was still attending school. So I went to the library. So library was in well boy, library was in Crossroad, Tamarincum Library. Mm-hmm. But I end up in a halfway tree. I end up a halfway tree. And while coming through halfway tree, I hear music playing, real nice music, so crystal clear, nice. So I decide I'm gonna cross the road, come on, know which part of this music come from. See nice bookie music, you know. So I want to hear which part of this music come from. So I turn the car and all right across some Aquarius Records. I walk, I'm big open land, go down, and that was Skateland. And I remember I'm standing up outside, I think me have like about $2 in my pocket. And that was like almost the bus fare for go home, you know. So I hear the music I play and I look in and I say, wow, this is nice. So now I sacrifice my bus fare for going inside of Skateland. I sacrifice my bus fare and I go in a Skateland because the music draw me in. And I you know, I look around because I couldn't find a shot of music. I come from who was playing the music. I'm look around and recognize the music room. I'm walk around the music room and I remember clearly I stand up in front of the music room glass and I look in. But I look in because here was this guy around 2 turntables playing the music sounding like one. I must say, oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah, and night come down and I know it is a journey for reach Rallington town. So, you know, about 7 o'clock now I decide it's gonna be halfway through road. You know, it'll be all the way down one of the road that's until I reach home. It's not gonna be no bus because the bus fare spread out of
to go in and go see what this is inside of this place. So this was the first time you actually discovered Skateland. You didn't know about Skateland or anything before.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. I never even know the place exists.
You go in there now. So then that was your first time. When did you actually go back to Skateland now?
The next Saturday.
Yeah.
And the next Saturday. And the next Saturday. And I do the same thing every week. Go stand in front of the music room like this. Looking in. And I remember this the owner for Heatwave, Mikey Harty. One day I'm looking in and him just call me. I'm, you know, open the grill and we're going in and, you know, him say you can't come in, man, you can't come in. And from I met Supermark. Great Supermark, that you know, he ventured on and started playing what's that, Exodus?
So, Nuclear.
Yeah. I met Supermark and very welcoming. You know, the entire crew was welcoming because me tell them, you know, me express immediately my love for music. I would love more than anything else to be a part of this. I don't care if I have a pack of records. I sometimes say be careful what you ask for because you might get it. So everything with Mark play, me have a pack it up.
But were you playing on Blackstone at this time here too?
A little bit. So I know how to play music. By then I learned how to play music. I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at it, but I knew how to. So, you know, I wasn't great at mixing. Right? I wasn't great at mixing. I could have put on one record and quickly bring over the other one, you know, without a jumble. So, you know, coming in and, you know, Mark, you know, express how much more I like to play the music and, you know, tell myself, you know, you can come play music during the early and practice and, you know, learn what go on. And that was an open door, you know. Skateland couldn't open early enough. I was there. And all this was happening while going to school.
While still in school at this time.
While still in school.
But the thing with Skateland, you said it was Saturdays that you were playing at Skateland.
Yeah.
Started going on Saturdays.
And every now and then, maybe on a Wednesday, I find myself at Skateland and try to find myself back home before my father come home.
But Skateland was definitely the spot. That's where everybody was hanging out at that time there, especially a lot of the young people at that time.
Yeah, it was the getaway spot for everybody. It was the spot. That was the place where you could really unwind because the music was good. And just to look at people skating around, it free your mind. No matter what kind of energy you had once you go inside the Skateland, it's like you blow it off. So that was the spot. You know, I wish they had a Skateland right now, you know, like that where the youth can go and just, you know, burn off them energy.
And this was the one that Jingle owns, Jingle Skate.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. You're so
Skateland halfway tree.
This is where you're starting to actually learn the art of mixing now. Over at that, this is with the original Heatwave. This is the first Heatwave sound.
Yep. Thanks to Supermark and Andrew, and there was Marlon Young there, who actually, you know, them guys really teach me. They really, you know, they really teach me how it work, how the turntable work.
So then now you're playing on thing. When do you really get your break on Heatwave over at Skateland?
Supermark got drafted by Exodus and he left, which opened that spot. And I just jump in full force. No more apprentice. No more apprentice. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing no more wondering if I could. I'm not doing it. Because all these, you know, getting up and going to Skateland early and play music and practice. On that practice, you know, it's time to put it to work, and I start doing it. I start running session from 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, doing it.
So were you actually talking on the mic at this time also too?
Oh yeah, because I start patterning Supermark, because Supermark is one of the wickedest voice ever, you know. So I learned that style of talking. With sometimes I listen some old cats that hear the talking and I'm roll over because Supermark will give you a thing like warm and easy as we move inside the groove. So yeah, you can, the talk, and everybody like it because I put on the talk and I get the talk and it in my style and it working for me. But we start becoming Snake, you know. You know, not just the regular old Snakey, but we start becoming a polished name. When you say Snake, you know, say Snake is the man who play the music and skate, like the man who's gonna entertain you while you're there.
Before we even go too further, you brought that up. Good thing. How did you get the name Snakey in the first place?
From the breakdancing, you know.
From the breakdancing.
I got like a skinny brother. Skinny like this pen. And I was very good at the popping and locking and the wave and all of that. And those kind of dance look better with your maga. Yeah, so a good friend of mine, Desmond. Good friend Desmond. Yeah, man, Desmond threw on the name Snake. And I don't know how it moved from Snake to Snakey. And Snakey is coming like Snakey up on my birth certificate because everybody know me as Snake.
Crazy. So then now this is basically when you started to find yourself as a DJ this time here at Skateland on Heatwave doing your stuff. What was the big night that you would play where this is the night everybody wanted to be at Skateland?
On a Saturday night. Friday night was good, but a Saturday night from 4 o'clock, it was Skateland.
That's where the vibe was on a Saturday.
Skateland.
What were at that time there? Were you guys bringing in acts also, or this was strictly about roller skating at this time here?
So this was just straight Heatwave playing the best stuff, whatever was coming up from overseas. Because Mikey had a connection overseas, so we were getting the newest music. We were getting the latest music from overseas. So that was a fresh spot. We never used to buy too much records from the record stores, Derek Harriet and the Witty, because Mike used to bring those. We used to get those records in.
And Aquarius
I
was
remember,
right
I
across
remember
the street.
because we used to lend out music regular. Regular Donovan Dakers come borrow music off care over JBC. And you know, regular Delano come borrow record, you know, all kind of people come borrow record. This is the place which part you can get it. The hot music.
Right there. That too. JBC. Was this when you got involved with the radio around this time when you're at Skateland also?
While at Skateland Donovan Dakers used to always come and, you know, borrow a few records here and come around, you know, come out of the turntable and come turntable room and, you know, spin a few records. Now Donovan Dakers invited me and Andrew to come play on a Saturday night. And then it used to be a thing called, I can't remember what Dakers show was called, but that's how I got my first little foot inside that little dome at JBC FM. And you know, that was a door opener. Because, you know, I eventually got employed at JBC at a young age again, at little boy.
What was this like now working at somewhere like a JBC now? What was that like?
The JBC was a super cool kind of job because no, JBC FM played only JBC FM was dubbed as a slow jam station back then. There was no talking, you just play music and that's it. So you know, and then my real government name was what we have to use on JBC FM, not SNAKIE. So a lot of people never know that the same person who rocks Skateland so crazy. After hurry up and finish by midnight because I have a midnight shift over JBC.
That's so crazy. And thank God they were so close to each other at the same time.
I know the security guard, so the security guard opened the back gate from Skateland right into JBC.
Yeah. Crazy. So at this time, so is this where are you doing three things at this time? Are you at Jammys in the dub room, playing Skateland, and at JBC all at the same time?
And at JBC, ask me how I do it. I don't know up until this day. I don't know when I sleep.
Yeah. This is crazy. And were you still in school when you're doing all three of them, or this time you had left school by now?
It started overlapping. My last year in school, I started doing Skateland, Jammys, and I told them at JBC that I was 18. Dennis Howard, my good friend Dennis Howard brought me in. Yeah, respect for Dennis Howard. I have respect for that brother up until this day. Yeah, so I used to tell him at school, yo, why you listen tonight, you know, play on the radio, and I'd be like, well, you not play on no radio, you always a wish and a hope. But eventually I realized, yo, you know, see a true, I'm here the name last night on the radio. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's serious right there. So then now you have the radio, Skateland is Saturday night going on good and stuff like back in the dub studio. So then when do you go from dub studio into actually now the next studio in Jammys?
Well, my the style of dub, how I used to cut dub with the my rhythm never used to just run straight. That's just my thing. I never cut a dub plate and just run a straight rhythm. I have to punch in and punch out, and it excites the artist. The energy in the studio with the punch in and punch out was great. So no, they wanted something like that in the 16 tracks production studio. They wanted that energy. So you know, Jammys bring me around the 16 track room. And it's even funny because the first time meeting Jammys, when I start working at Jammys was overseas. So I remember it's a Wednesday. It's the first time I ever see this King Jammys. So we finished cut some dub plate now and me stood down in the room. And I said, this big man come in, big man. Come on, tell me something bad word. I said, oh, what you doing my thing? Why you don't touch my things? Who you? Yeah, man, I cry, I want to, man, because the man never cuss like that to me yet, man. And you know, Jammys are big, but Jammys long stem, healthy, you know. So when the man cuss too bad, they feel it. So Trevor for coming and said, no, man, the new youth, this man, I forget to tell them, man, the new youth, man, I'm good, man. So Jammys just laugh it off and, you know, friend me up and thing, and that's how it started. Them start, you know, ask me, what you know about them things? I say, I don't really know much about them, you know. So from this, I start show me and learn, quick learner. You just have to show me. You just have to pass something past my eye one time, you know. That's it. So, you know, we're going around the 16 track studio with the same energy up there, the dub room, you know, the fire style, you know, every song, the same energy we push towards it. Things are fair punch in and out for lively up the rhythm, you know. So that is what we bring to the 16 track studio.
From the 60. And when you got to that side of the studio now, who else as engineers was in that side of the studio?
That was Bobby Digital. Bobby Digital was there. My good friend Beckett, rest in peace, was there. So I was like the third person for go around there now and start working.
And Genius was over at the dub side still.
Yeah, Genius was always a dub, man. That's fame thing. He had the chance to go into the 16 track, but you know, I'm not fame thing that. It make it bit known. I'm not fame thing that. So, you know, and just continue working the dub room. Every now and then when I come out of the dub room, I hold a vibe and just cut some dub and, you know, enjoy myself and go back around at the 16 track room. You know, that's a straight production happening now.
Do you remember what were some of the early productions you started to actually work on? Or what else were you doing once you got to the 16 track?
Well, the 16 track studio, once I started the 16 track, you know, Jammys and man insisted that I learn to find the tape, know the tapes. It's almost like a record box again. You know, I have to know, you know, which part the rhythm them and because I used to call for the rhythm them every now and then and thing, and I have to know which part to find them and for tell my little Jammys is a man like this, you know, I only him alone know to find film things then. So no, me have to take a pen and I have to take a marker and start mark this something, you know, start listening and put a little mark on this box, you know, so this rhythm have so this tape have this rhythm, and eventually we'll develop a system. And you know, learn all that, you know, where, you know, to find what. Well, it was Bobby Digital project was the that Home Tea, Cocoa Tea, and Shabba, Who She Love. That when I you know, when I went over at the tail end of that.
And
it was already recorded. I don't think it was mixed yet, but they used to play it often, like, you know, this is gonna be the new hit. Till you know, Mikey Bennett come in and add some other things to it, and then that was it. But that was the Who She Love era, the end of the Chinatown rhythm. That's when I started. Duck rhythm, Chinatown rhythm. Right after that is when I started in the 16 track with Jammys.
You would say that would have been around like 88 type of thing, 87, 88?
88. I did a year in the dub room. And I hit the dub room right after school, 87. So 88 is correct.
Even today, with that, even that Cocoa Tea, Home Tea, and Shabba situation there, you know, it's only today I found out that Home Tea was really Mikey Bennett. Only today, boss. I said, hold on, what? I had no idea before, boss.
Yeah, but that's one talented brother right there, man. Mikey Bennett.
Super talented. So
super talented.
When you heard it, did you add anything to that song, or that was the first thing you remember hearing while you were in the studio?
No, that was the first tape I actually know where it was located in the 16 track room. So that was I never get a chance to do anything because that was a completed project. And the only Bobby and Jammys was, you know, really needed to mix it, but it was a completed project when I went over. All overdubs was already completed. Because I could, while cutting my dub next door, I could hear the work going on, you know. But every time I peep at the studio, somebody wanted to cut a dub, so I never get a chance to really watch the project, but I could hear it from the rhythm Bill, Steely and Clevie till they start recording.
Yeah.
Because it was next door.
Just like that. What was the first project that you started to actually engineer on, or you had input in over there?
There was a rhythm called the Bandolero rhythm, because Bandolero we approached that rhythm 3 times. 3 times the Jammys really worked that rhythm. Right? The first time was the Lottie Dottie with the Sugar Barrington. So that was the first. I'm trying to remember which other song was on that. And Admiral Bailey was on that rhythm too first, and then the second time, no, they did Pliers and Spanner Band and a whole bunch of folks come. That's when I start working actual project. That was before. There's the same rhythm as Bandolero, but we didn't do Bandolero yet.
So it wasn't until the third
the third wave. I call it the third wave. Yeah, because we did the Cocoa Tea, Anything That You Can Do, The Toughest. We did 50-50 Love, a whole bunch of songs on the album. I can't remember the name of the album, but that was my first album. See my name on the album. I'm the album outside of the girl match.
And what were you doing on the album at that time there?
Recording, because I don't know how I start recording so far, but as soon as we go over, I start recording. You know. Yep, Bobby just showed me one time, Becky showed me like another time. Oh, you assign the stuff, and that was it. Like, but just pass it past me once, and that's all I need to do. I was no recording, so learning how to record free up my friend Beckett. So Beckett don't have in the room all along, so now Beckett can go to, you know, the new printer take over. It's like a printer, you know. Printer take over and wanting me to mind being the printer, you know. Because it's a mission made upon.
You're here to learn. You understand?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
So you guys are doing all this. So you took the vocals like the Cocoa Tea and the Pliers and all of those. You're the one that
and all them guys. Gregory Isaac was on the rhythm too.
What was that feeling like, actually recording these artists that you've heard their music? Now I'm actually behind the board recording their vocals. What was that feeling like?
It was a nice feeling for me, but it wasn't so much of a big deal, because remember, I was doing the dub room, and I'm cutting dub with these guys on a daily basis. 4, 5, 6 times in the day, Triller, you do a song, you know, Pliers and everybody do them song just same. So it's just a matter of a different room now, but it's the same vibe, same energy. Just a different style.
Right there. So then, out of Beckett and Bobby, now who was the one that really took you under their wings and started to show you how to engineer and stuff like that? Now,
Bobby Digital. Bobby Digital was the engineer. Beckett was an assistant to Bobby. Right? I don't want to take away credit. But Bobby is the engineer and Beckett was the assistant.
Because a lot of times, like even on dubs, when they're cutting dubs, a lot of stuff coming from Jammys, you would always hear Beckett's name in the dubs. He was one of the engineers over there doing the dubs. You always hear it.
Yeah. But Bobby was the I would like you say Bobby was the lead engineer.
What type of stuff did he start to show you at first, like to really get you familiar with engineering?
Jammys had what's known as a parametric equalizer. That's a very, very tricky equalizer if you don't know what you're doing. That will make your sound horrible if you don't know what you're turning. So I remember, you know, him sit down and him show me exactly what these knobs do. And then turn them so I can hear the difference. Because I at first, me as a genius, just a turn knob and I don't know what was happening. But when Bobby really sit down and show me, you know, when him show me, then I understood clearly what this piece of equipment does. And him go down and him show me how to use a compressor, you know, the purpose of a compressor. Then we had a limiter, and him show me the difference with a compressor and a limiter, and break it down, because Bobby used to like to work at night. So me used to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and break down these things in the simplest form. Maybe right now it would have been a simpler form to break down, but he did it the best way he could.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned from it. And he teach me what I needed to know to be an assistant engineer. The rest, him say, you're going to have to learn along the way. Because he cannot teach you to be an engineer. He cannot teach you how to be an engineer.
Mm-hmm. You have to develop your own style, your own ears.
To develop the craft. You have to be developed into an engineer.
Mm-hmm. What was the, so then now you guys put that, where was the first, do you remember the first project or the first song you got to start engineering and putting your own ideas into the song now?
It was the same, I can't remember the name, it was the same, that same project, that Cocotte and that Flyers, and that was the first album I started working on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then you didn't just record, you actually had an input in it.
Yeah, yeah. And in between Jammys used to always be recording a whole bunch of artists. So I remember I started working with Gregory Isaac, you know, and what's his name again? Jimmy Riley,
mm-hmm.
and the Ernest Wilson, and the Ken Booth. You know, they would come in and they would do their stuff. I remember Sugar Minott, the first time meeting Sugar Minott, you know, recording Sugar Minott.
Mm-hmm.
And all those projects, they came real fast. They came real fast. There was no breaks at Jammys. No, there was absolutely no break.
Because you guys were churning out music very quickly at that point.
Yes, yes.
And you're now dealing with these veterans now, like Gregory Isaacs, Ernest Wilson, Sugar Minott, and these men here now. How are they responding to you as an engineer now, where you're basically directing them in certain things, what to do and what not to do? How did they respond to you at that point there?
You know, they actually, the reception was good, because now these artists, them know that me play a Skateland.
Mm-hmm.
They know I have a good connection with what's going on the outside. So they trust my words.
Mm-hmm.
When me say, no, do it that way, style it like this. You know, sometimes Gregory is at me and say, you want to come sing the song? It's your song. You know, jokingly, but him still change it the way we ask him to.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, our ears is out there in the street, we're playing music. And one of the things with being an engineer and being a DJ, you know, they trust you more.
Mm-hmm.
They trust what you're telling them more than just somebody who sit behind a board for 10, 12 hours a day and then go home and go sleep.
Because you're in the street, you're playing it, you envision while recording this how it's
how I want to hear it on the street.
Mm-hmm. And they understand that.
Yep. Because they themselves would actually come through Skateland. And because Skateland was the mecca. Skateland was the spot where you want to be seen as an artist, you're going to have to come to Skateland, stand up out on the front a little bit and come inside so the DJ can call out your name. And that's just how Skateland was, you know? Everybody came to Skateland. Good artists who are trying, you know? Everybody come to Skateland, because once your name called 2 times, and the next time you go back in the studio, then you're a superstar.
How long were you juggling between engineering at Jammys and playing at Skateland?
I played at Skateland up until 92. early 92. Because Skateland shut down and moved to Portmore. And within the same time, I migrated to the US.
Okay, so we're not ready for that yet, because then your Skateland journey went right until you migrated to the US.
Yes.
Okay, so then we'll keep that in mind. Don't reverse that. Okay, cool. We're back to Skateland for a bit before we go back to Jammys for a bit. What was the thing there? Do you remember what were some of your most memorable nights you remember at Skateland? I remember Skateland, as you said, was massive this time here. You know, everybody's hanging out, everything's happening. Some nights that you remember at Skateland that you'll never forget.
I remember one thing about Skateland is we had a sound, Heatwave. It was a small sound, but it was a giant. It was a giant, because no matter how big your sound system was, how big you think your sound system is, coming into Skateland, or you're gonna be rocked by that little sound system with 4 box.
Yeah,
because nobody could outdo us in Skateland. So I remember clearly one night, People's Choice entered Skateland with the most speaker boxes I've ever seen. Because their intention, they was coming into Skateland to do some damage. So, you know, we played to about 7 o'clock, and then, you know, the little sound handed it over to the big sound, and halfway through the skate session, it was like a standstill. Everybody was looking at the sound like, yo, what's up, man? Come on. So the guy who owned the sound system, Mr. Perry, come on and call me. And he said, how much we can give you tonight for play my song like how you play your song? and the funniest thing, People's Choice song, that was a song played by Glamour Wayne. My good friend Glamour Wayne. But Skateland is a place where you cannot come in there and take the music is different in Skateland. It's different. So, you know, I ended up playing Perry's song, and, you know, Mr. Perry asked me, you know, from that one night, he asked me, you know, every now and then when I'm play out, you know, certain times, I say, you mind if, you know, come play the song with Glamour Wayne, or come play early before Glamour Wayne then, and, you know, me used to do that. And it's like that, you know, a lot of sound system would come in there, and you know, they will get a shock of their lifetime. Some coming with them dub plate. That wasn't the place for that. You have to put one record on the turntable and play for 2 hours straight, without a break, without nobody hearing when you move from one music to the next. And that is what power Skateland. That was the energy that drives Skateland.
It was basically almost like a club. It wasn't a dance hall. This is a club vibe.
Basically, the same kind of vibe. Same kind of vibe. Very few talking, straight music juggling.
Give me 2 more memorable nights at Skateland.
Skateland, no. Skateland is where I met my wife.
Okay.
There's no bigger memory than that. And we're talking 33 years ago.
How did this happen? Walk us through it.
I don't know why she was standing underneath that big tree, but she was standing underneath that big tree, and I can't, up until this day, I don't know if anybody else was in Skateland, but is she alone, me say? Is she, and that was it. Is she alone, me say? I can't remember nothing else. So that is my biggest Skateland memory. That is my biggest Skateland memory.
Okay, so then now that's your biggest. Give me one that's not as big as that, but another memory that sticks out in your mind forever.
Oh man, there's so much memory of Skateland. It's kind of hard to pinpoint. It's kind of hard to pinpoint. You know, it's kind of hard to pinpoint.
Like, even if a artist passed through something that was exciting that night, they're like, okay, this was the first place I seen Yellow Man or something.
Well, okay, Okay, I remember I used to always tell my friend, them say, you know, some I know Bogle, you know, Bogle, my brethren, you know. And I'm say, yo, Snake, cool, man. You know Bogle. I say, me I tell him, say, me know Bogle, me my brethren, them. Because Danny from inner city, rest in peace. Danny used to carry me in a jungle. Right? And go up on Bogle corner, and I saw we know Bogle, and musician, and you know, someone and someone, you know, we become brethren. So, you know, they would tell him, say, yo, I was a Skateland advice, but they say, yo, me I go come check your Skateland, man, and me I bring my crew with me, man, and we are going to shell down Skateland. And I say, all right, yeah, man, anything ready, man. So me was always say, my brethren, say, yo, Bogle, I go come check me a Skateland one night. But I say, go on dream, Snakey, go on dream. So I remember one Saturday night, Skateland up, me have Skateland under fire. I'm look, I'm say, Mr. Walker, come around the corner. So they come straight around the corner, coming in the disco room, and one thing with Bogle used to have this friendly thing when he come and just throw him around it, and he might want to talk to you. So when we look on the mirror in front, it block, everybody looking, everybody's surprised. And in the walkie take out the mic, and walkie says, Snakey, it's all about you, not the few. I never forget that. I didn't tell us that. Me hear people lick down the wall. Man, I'm gonna lick down the concrete wall. Yeah. So no, they're a believer, you know? The great Mr. Wacky. And it's right about the same time, right around about the same time, you know, him start, you know, them start, you know, do the song, Bogle. Yep. Rising and Prime.
Yeah. Big. No, that's big here. Because again, as you said, this isn't a dance hall per se. So whoever comes through is going to be special because they're coming through. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. Skateland Bomb did that there. Back to Jammys here now. What was the first hit that you remember working on in Jammys?
I remember Pinchers coming in one evening. Pinchers recorded a song called Hold Me. And I think that song was one of the baddest Pinchers song I ever hear. And Pinchers said, yo, you know, so I have a next thing for you, I have a next serial for you, you know. I was like, yeah, we have 2 more tracks, you know. All right. Me and Jammys said, I was like, all right. Come on, make a hear we have. Me and the man mumble too loud, me and the man say, hey, gringos and pasero. I want you wait for the bandolero. You know what I'm saying? What's that? Jammys nearly put hole in their own studio. You know?
And remember, by this time, this is the 3rd wave of this rhythm here.
Yes. You know? Because that song, Fat Man mixed that song, Bandolero. Me and Jammys mix it back one night. Because I don't know where Jammys did I eat, we're never that here, but we mix it back one night. So if you talk to Fat Man, I tell you, say, mix it. Well, yes, he did. Yes, he did. But we mix it back over.
God, you're talking about that. When did Fat Man get involved? Because remember, you said Beckett, Bobby Digital, and yourself. When did Fat Man get involved?
When Bobby Digital started his own production. So he left. And then shortly thereafter, Jammys got Fat Man.
Got you. Okay. Because there's a couple more stuff that I know you did at Jammys. I don't want to think you don't want to move out of Jammys yet, because there's a couple more massive stuff you did. The Echo Miner, been around the world. All right?
Oh, yeah.
Please clear this up and make me know exactly how this song came around.
Well, Echo Miner, by then Echo Miner start traveling. So Echo Miner start knowing the hot songs and both on the New York chart. So I'm come back now, and we just finish up working for the Punani rhythm, because we just put out the Bike Back and the Border Clash, and these songs and the Punani revised, right? It's actually me and Fat Man they decide say we're gonna just have to put it on the rhythm and put it back out, you know. Yeah, Jammys, that was not Jammys car.
Mm-hmm.
That's a me and Fat Man that the studio dust it off, transfer it, and we decide to say we're gonna rework the put it on the rhythm. So Echo Maya came in at the end and he say, yo, you know, me have a thing for this, you know. And I'm to being around the world. Right? I think Fatman might have recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's time for mix, you know, me and Jammys going, that's how we deal with it. Right? Me at that time, the sampler is the sample thing, that is my idea. Me tell them about a S1000 sampler at Jammys send go foreign and get it. Right? Nobody don't know what an Akai S1000 sampler was till me tell them about it. Right? So me get that and that get put into Jammys studio. So that when we finished the tune sound like a regular tune. And Jammys say, yo, make a sampler thing. So me get the idea right now. Me a sample the one line. But me a stutter it in. So when me do the being around the one line, I don't know, I don't know where, I don't know, I don't know. But stutter it in. Murder. Because that have never ever been on a record before in history. Nowhere in no farm, no other kind of genre of music, a stutter edit like that was never ever placed.
So how did you come up and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do with this then? Where did that thought even come from then?
It's I just always live a life in music or in what I'm doing, like a couple of years ahead of my time. Playing and just the old vibes. Because while doing this sample edit, the stutter edit, they call it stutter edit. I could hear it playing at Skateland. It's like I could do it and picture how the folks gonna react when me drop it at Skateland.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that is all that come up. You know, it's that I did that for the audience at Skateland. It's a different audience there, Skateland, will accept certain kind of the kind of music will accept a Skateland. You know, so you have to do more than just 100% for move those audience. So it always push you for want to do more and do better than what you did the last time. So that's how the edit come. And you know, Jammys go on the 2-track machine and drop it in. Jammys give me a fist pump because it knows that fire this. Not that this have never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
And when being around the world drop, the Friday when being around the world drop, we're going on a dynamics. we just look for being around the world like out the back door by boxes and crates.
Crazy. Because you see, the thing with it is even that song there, as you said, you pictured it in your mind at Skateland before you actually went there. So what was the reaction when you actually dropped it in Skateland now? What was that like?
That started a new wave of people firing gunshot in a halfway tree, and the police just know, say, okay, that's Skateland, that everything all right.
Yeah.
Because that song can't play, that song couldn't play 1 time or 2 times or even 10 times. That song is just like if you finish a whole session with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right there. The further we go on in this conversation, you're going to understand how it's almost in every situation, Shabba, you're linked with Shabba in some sort of way in every situation in your musical life moving forward.
Oh yeah. Because from the days of cutting dub for Blackstone,
mm-hmm.
or cutting dub for Weepo or any Stone Love or any other sound, it moved to starting production, you know, for Bobby Digital.
So then now, because you remember, you said he was really the senior engineer and you were the Prento, as you said.
Yeah.
And he had now moved on to his own stuff. So then did you actually start working with him over on his own stuff also at that time there?
I remember when Bobby took his last set of tapes out of Jammy's studio. And Bobby opened the door. And it's a different look from Bobby's face. And Bobby said, "Youth, come now, come." But at the time, Jammy's studio was the only place I get a little money from. So though it would have been a good venture, I couldn't chance not having any money. So I decided to stay at Jammy's, but at the same time, me now leave out of Bobby, because Bobby, my brethren, so would have finished at Jammy's, and Bobby would have come to me for them bicycle. Yes, to me for them bicycle, and we're going help Bobby with where my deal with. Right, it all started in a small bedroom, not in a studio. When Bobby left, Bobby never was studio yet,
He didn't.
No, what Bobby had was a mixing board and a machine. That's all Bobby had. So you see why it was kind of rough to take up myself and leave Jammys, So just a tape machine and the mixing board and the dresser started out Digital B Mix, because while his wife was sleeping, we would have them down at the end of the bed, in the hours, and Shabba outside in the hallway, and we are record. Yeah, and we are record. That's how the whole thing started,
But what
and Bobby never leave me out, and never leave out Bobby.
What's even so crazier to think about that is, listen how you said these songs are being recorded, and these songs are played on big sound systems right across the world. Thousands of people are dancing to, and people don't know this was recorded in a house, in a bedroom, and a hallway. Do you really understand what you're telling me, boss?
Bobby was a man ahead of his time also. Bobby master the art of acoustics. Because remember, he would tell Shabba, say, turn away, so we don't pick up the echo. Amazing. Because you can hear the ambience of a room if you set certain way with a microphone. So you would turn one way and you hear like the room will reproduce reverb, and you just turn the artist the next way, and I stuck on my record, and then Shabba just knows at the position this. The hours at night while wifey asleep.
That's crazy to think about it. So then you actually worked on the first album there, the Best Baby Father album?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild right there, because that had enough songs, but this was when he was just about to get his real break at this time here. Now, he didn't really get the full break, because this had like Best Baby Father and those type of song there.
Yeah. Are you sure? And
Peeny Mama Man and all of those songs.
Where you get it from? Them songs. Yeah, but there was and then so when Bobby started doing more recording and start recording, because Bobby realized that Shabba was gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So now Bobby started making up, getting the ball rolling. So we used to go Music Works and do some more recording. I wouldn't even consider it as professional recording, because the songs that was recorded at Music Works don't sound no way different from what we recording at the Passageway.
That's crazy to think of.
And they're on the same album. Nobody don't know the difference.
Yeah. It's just, I guess everything is in the mix, how you put it together, and that's just crazy to even think about that. You know what I mean? So you're in between. So then now you're in between Bobby Digital and King Jammys. But as you said earlier in the conversation, Bobby likes to work at night. So then I guess he'd be at Jammys in the day and go check Bobby at night.
Yeah, because Bobby used to Tuesday. Bobby used to work at Music Works on a Tuesday. So we used to finish up Jammys. We made our Jammys early. I'm gone, link up with Bobby, I get the tape them, I'm gone, and Music Works. That was my that was another door opening for me to step into Music Works. Big up to the great Gussie Clark.
Gussie Clark, of course, boss. And I mean, big up there. So even at Jammys here now, after Bobby left and stuff, was there any more hits that you had worked on at that time at Jammys?
Oh yeah, because it's the Jammys, we used to do a lot of singles and a lot of albums. You know, Jammys started doing a lot of album with you know, different artists. Because Jammys used to have an album with everybody, you know. Jammys have an album with everybody. So, you know, we'll do a lot, we do you know, by then Bounty Killer came up. Bounty Killer came up in the ranks, you know, and Fatman started to do some work with Bounty Killer, and you know, it's just a whole bunch of enough things start going, and you know, while that transition started to happen, I'm starting to transition out of Jammys.
Got you.
Because now I'm starting to realize that the way how we work at Jammys and the way how they work outside is two different ways. So now I want to learn this new way that I go out and road as the guys working.
What was the main difference between what you were seeing at Jammys and what you were seeing on the road?
It's just the whole approach to it. It's just like I said, the whole approach was totally different. The preparation in recording a song, you know, they put much more into preparing to record a song than how we used to do it at Jammys. Jammys was going to a vocal booth and figure it out from there. Recording, you know, watching them record at Music Works, they actually work out the song first before you go into you don't go into the music booth unless the song is completely, you know, arranged. Then you go in. So I learned that, you know, you have the producer who sit there with the artist and work it out, explain it to the engineer what's gonna happen. You know, it's a whole new, different approach, and I like this because this is new. This is new to me, you know. I like it.
For sure. Because even when you were in between Jammys and Bobby Digital, was there an issue or anything? Because I think Bobby didn't leave on exactly good terms at that time there. So was there an issue between you working between Bobby and Jammys at that time there?
Yeah, because Jammys is a jealous man, you know. He's a jealous man. Jammys want you to just be loyal to him and him alone. And at the same time, Bobby is my friend. Bobby don't do me nothing. Bobby teach me the game. So I wasn't gonna get between their feud. Their feud are between the two of them. That have nothing to do with me. So, you know, I continue for leave Jammys studio and go over Bobby till, you know, Jammys couldn't tell me no more. Because it done set in stone. Certain time of God. Because even Bobby left Jammys and started a different approach to the whole engineering, you know.
Okay.
It was different. Working with Bobby was totally different than working with Jammys.
So I guess he prepared like how they would prepare over at Music Works, or he had
yes
approach.
Yes. Because one of the thing with Jammys studio is I'm just going to the voicing room and you turn on the mic and you make it, you play the rhythm and start record. Bobby, it wasn't like that. If when you go into the vocal booth over by Bobby, you going in there to record, not for him to hear what you have. So you know, that's I don't want to say the word a more professional level. I'm just gonna leave it as a different level.
Different. I could understand that. It's a different approach, you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's no problem. Everybody has their way that they approach. So then you're working with Thing there. You're working with Bobby too. Okay, you worked on the first Shabba album. What other songs, singles, or hits did you start to work on? over at Bobby Digital?
I remember Bobby have a rhythm named the Bulldozer rhythm. And Papa Lover was a general degree on Bounty Killer, One Take You One, all them songs, we mix them. And I remember Danny Brownie come for a copy of General Degree song. And Danny Brownie said, yo, boss, you mix clean it. You know, stuff like this stay with me forever, you know. Yeah, because, you know, nobody is rushing you to do anything. Nobody is opening a door while you're mixing and give you a brain dump of what you're doing when you work over Bobby. So you can concentrate and doing your work. You know, like I said, it's just a difference when working at Jammys and working at Bobby. I love the two of them the same way, but it's a difference. You can get down to a mix. That is why when I really start mixing at Jammys, I mix at night.
Because there's no distractions, nobody's really wrong. You get to take your time and do your thing.
Yeah. And shortly thereafter, you know, I had to part ways with Jammys. You know, I had to part ways, and I left Jammys.
How come you left Jammys?
I needed more. I needed more, and I wasn't getting what I really wanted at Jammys. The vibe was, you know, there was no love loss, but I just needed another step. And with that step brought me to Penthouse.
Okay. How did you connect with Penthouse? Was it because you're linking with Music Works that's in the same complex? Or how did you exactly link up now with Donovan Germain and Penthouse?
You know, funny, I mixed a song on Tuesday night for a guy in Penthouse. And then, you know, Sil was my partner the night. Now, Sil was actually working there. Sil was the engineer for the night. That's first time I met Sil Garden. So Sil was there working. So, but the guy bring me in now because the guy wanted me to mix his song there. So, you know, Sil get up from around the board and say, all right. So, you know, Sil said, maybe patch for you. I said, all right, cool, respect, thank you. You know, that was, you know, so come, you know, me and Sil started a friendship. And I mixed the song that Tuesday night. And I went home and wasn't thinking about anything, you know, and, you know, Wednesday, me hear my sister tell me, say, somebody outside to me. I said, nobody came outside to me, you know. You know, the man outside to me, oh, outside. Then she come back and she said, a man named Jermaine. I said, Jermaine? So when I go outside, Mr. Jermaine and Jermaine invite me back to Penthouse. Shortly there after that Wednesday, I was at Penthouse.
So then, but now you're coming in with experience. So who else was there as engineers or even artists at Penthouse when you got to Penthouse?
When I got to Penthouse, Penthouse have engineer Dave Kelly and Tony Kelly. But at the time, they were out on tour with Maxi Priest.
Got you.
So there was Stumpy and God. So it was three of us there at that time. Yeah, when I joined the family, it was just us three. So till the powerhouse them come back from overseas.
Yeah. So what were some of the stuff you were working on when you got to Penthouse, and even artist-wise? Who was there as artists at Penthouse when you were there?
Okay. When I got to Penthouse, immediately, you know, boots on the ground, start running. Jermaine had projects on projects going on. So there's this one project I remember jumping straight into where Barris, it was working on Barris' album. So Barris wanted to put this song, this a cappella song with a whole bunch of artists on. So I started working with Barris. Then Barris brought in Dennis Brown, and then Marcia Griffiths, and Tony Rebel, and the list goes on. Everybody come in for sing a line. So we start know these artists, because these artists don't go at Jammys, you know. So no, my door open to a new set of artists. You know, that was a whole new learning curve over understand working with these folks. I remember seeing Marcia Griffiths for the first time. I was supposed to press record. We stand up and look for Marcia because the first time I see her. You know, it was a joy. I did work with, you know, a couple record Dennis Brown, and you know, do a couple songs with Dennis Brown over by Jammys. But no, seeing Dennis Brown on this platform and you know, this level, it's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we did the Tony Rebel, you know, Garnet Silk, but Garnet Silk was coming over from Digital B. So you know, me know Garnet. We know Garnet from Garnet named Bimbo. So
okay.
You know, so that was that you know, working with Tony Rebel, and you know, first time I recorded a song, first time I recorded with Garnet and Tony for Penthouse was Onward Christian Soldier. Yeah. So, you know, Penthouse started me running real fast right upon entry.
Right there.
You know,
that's big right there, because I even forgot that Garnet was really over at Bobby also.
Yeah.
And at Penthouse at that time there, so he's bouncing between studios at that time there. Do you have, okay, I'm going to ask you two names. Do you have any specific memories with, three names as a matter of fact, any specific memories with Wayne Smith, Dennis Brown, or Garnet Silk? Something that sticks in your mind forever.
All right. Wayne Smith. I know Wayne Smith from Jamaica. Wayne used to live, before Wayne passed away, Wayne lived down the street from me. But back in Jamaica, Wayne used to, I know Wayne from Seaview.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know him at the time when he did the sling thing. It's after, you know. But I know Wayne from Jamaica. Dennis Brown. I did a show for Dennis Brown in Brooklyn,
mm-hmm.
in Brooklyn, and shortly thereafter, Dennis passed. Mm-hmm. Garnet. I did sound for Garnet and Richie Stevens inside Mirage nightclub.
Yes.
On a Thursday night. I did it the Thursday night. I think it was a birthday party, or I think it was a birthday party for Richie Stevens. It was Richie Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the disturbing news the Saturday morning. I can't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And the funniest thing back then, because you know, I migrated and I live in New York, but I come back down and I stay with Jammys.
Mm-hmm.
So the phone ring the early Saturday morning, and I answer the phone, and it was David Radigan on the phone. And Radigan asked if it's true that Garnet still died.
Mm-hmm.
I was not hearing nothing like that. No, I'm not hearing nothing like that. I said, no, I'm not hearing nothing like that. Hang up the phone. Shortly thereafter, more phone call. Garnet, you know, had a you know, terrible, a tragic end to his life.
That's
So I never forgot that that Garnet concert. It was so electrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the funny thing with it, I was speaking to Worm Bass, formerly of Blaze. He was telling me about, and when I spoke to Richie, he told me about that night there too, how crazy that night there was, how electrifying, how it was just different that night there.
I know it's just something about that night. It was it was actually my first time inside that club.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so much memory tied into one. You know, the performance was off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Because Richie Stevens did Casanova, the song Casanova.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when and then because he had two songs on the rhythm. Fight Back with him and Garnet.
Yes.
So after Casanova is when Garnet hit the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole new energy opened up inside of that club.
Mm-hmm.
It was sad, man. It was sad. It was sad. Really, really sad. Because that momentum, but you know,
was different.
I tell you.
Crazy, because even with the now when you get to Penthouse, this is when another level in your career is introduced. This is when you're introduced now to live engineering.
Oh yeah. So now Tony Kelly and Dave Kelly returned from overseas. Myself and Dave Kelly attended the same school, but different grade levels.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I know Dave Kelly from primary school days all the way up. So no, Tony and everybody returned from overseas. And it's time now for what's known as Ghetto Splash. So just coming from overseas now, you don't really want to get a splash of such. So why not recruit a Penthouse? Why not recruit a Penthouse to do it? So, you know, man simply tell me, say, just picture it like a big studio. Deal with it like a big studio. Just the outdoor, just deal with the outdoor like a big studio and you're all right. That's all you need to do.
This was Tony told you this.
Tony Kelly. Tony Kelly.
Got you.
And we go get a splash and with the same concept, we just of the studio, we deal with it, and it was fun. And from that day on, I'm like, yes, I love this. More I do this. You know?
You caught the bug for the outdoor venues.
The outdoor. Oh yeah. And shortly thereafter, Derrick Barnett from Sagittarius. Derrick came and go, Fort Clarence, I say, oh, just deal with this like how you deal with the studio and everything good. Just make, just use the echo and the reverb and all them splash and, just deal with it like a big wide open studio. And from then on, from then on, I just love the live thing.
So that was where you introduced at Penthouse, you're doing yourself. Were you at Penthouse for a while? Or that was a short stint?
It's not really a long time at Penthouse. No, it wasn't long at Penthouse. It wasn't long. I hate Penthouse. I hate Penthouse in early 91, because I remember we had a Christmas party at Penthouse. So 91 over into like about March of 92.
So then now after Penthouse, what did you end up doing after you left Penthouse?
After Penthouse, I started as Mikey Bennett, one of Mikey Bennett's second engineer, because Sil Garden was Mikey's official engineer. So we had a little incident happened at Penthouse, a little unfortunate incident happened at Penthouse that caused me to actually, leave Penthouse and go over to Mikey Bennett.
Could you elaborate on it?
Yeah. Well, it's Shabba is tied into my entire story. So no, while working while recording Shabba album now, Shabba upcoming album, this album gonna make Shabba. That's how everybody was looking at it. Right, we were recording through now, so specialists would come in and say, when she record a big tune, run it off on a cassette and get to Stone Love. I only get to Stone Love. So, okay, we're gonna record a tune here and there, we get to Stone Love. But no, we're gonna record this big tune and we feel like this tune I gonna put everybody on them up because them made another they lick over reasons for them. And them say, yo, and the song this we're gonna put Shabba up on the map now. Or let's not say put him on the map, but launch him way overboard. So like him tell me, say, whenever I saw a big tune, give it to Stone Love. So I gave it to Rory. Right? So man and man, I don't know, man and man start selling the tune. Right? Man and man start selling the exclusive tune out the road down. It start word of go round to the tune out there. So they pull up for Rory and ask Rory, say, yo, where you get that tune from? Rory says, Snakey. Rory never tell a lie. He never tell a lie. He says, Snakey, he gave him the tune. Right? But people was selling the tune. Because some selector get box and kick up. So they were selling it for me. Me never sell nothing in my life. So, no, I'm out on the road with because I'm start to work with Mikey Bennett here and there. Mikey Bennett had Brian and Tony Go, Sheville Franklin, Peter Man, and I don't want to leave out Prince Midas. Make sure that's the entire crew, along with Coco T. So we're overseas at Canada. I knock out some show at Canada and I make some money. I get a phone call in a hotel room. So Mr. Hello, it was Donovan Jermaine on the phone. So right away, him rushed me and said, "When I'm supposed to come back from studio because Mr. L tune." I said, "Huh? Huh?" He said, "Yeah, you sell Shabba tune and specialists and look fair to kill you." I said, "Huh?" I said, "What is that?" So by then, hang up the phone. So I go to Mikey Bennett and I said, "Mikey, me ears and me a sell tune." Me ears and me a sell tune. So Mikey said on. Mikey Bennett, I remember clear Mikey Bennett look at me and look dead in my face. Look dead in my face and said, "I'm going to ask you one time only. You have anything to do with it?" Mr. Mikey, "No." "You know, send us a mistake." "No." And Mikey said, "Well, all right. As long as you never have nothing to do with it, you stay amongst me and maybe protect you and keep you safe from anything." So, me now come back at Jamaica. After my tour. Me can't go Penthouse. Me can't go music course because me is a specialist and look for me. Me a fret, come here, look up me a young youth and me a fret. The man here said the man look for me before. So me a fret, we can only go between Bobby Digital and some other little mix, and some other places, Scorpio Studio, go do some work, And then Mikey said, "Look, if you never do nothing, you come work for me and music works. You come work for me and music works. If you know within yourself, say you never do nothing, you come work for me and music works." And me gone and music works and I work for Mikey Bennett every Friday with that big on board. So this is the funny part about it now. Once Friday we work. I'm gonna see people are running a scatter like thief. I want to go on outside and fight myself and broke outside. So Mr. Man, run and look me in the Bison room and music works, and when we look, myself like a shot man come through the door. When we look at specialists. Specialist said, "You hear something look for you. You hear something look for you." And I say, as a big man, I can tell you right now, so I'm full of water because I feel like I hate this, specialist catch me. So he said, "Yo, how come you sell one tune?" I say, "I never sell no tune. As there's a God up above." And then just turn and walk out. And that's a specialist again after that. Right?
Yeah.
No, me lose my work at Penthouse because of impulse. Jermaine fire me. Right? Jermaine not really ask me any question,
So he didn't ask you. He didn't ask you what it. He didn't want to hear your out of the story.
Me, good morning or good evening. Jermaine fire me. Right? So throughout the years, me did have a tough place in my heart for Jermaine. Right? But as time goes on, I realize that me within myself never do anything. So be the big man and let shit go. Forgive my language. Right? So I go back at Jamaica. By then, shortly thereafter, I migrated.
Hold on. Before we even get to, there's a couple more stuff we got to get to before we get to migration. I have you linked back with Jermaine when you went back. I got that in my mind. Hold on, we're going to go. So you're linking with Mikey Bennett over at Music Works. So now you're more or less, that's your home, or you're more or less freelancing right now?
That would be, no, I'm working between Bobby and Mikey Bennett.
Okay. When did you link up with Steely or Steely and Clevie?
Well, Steely was always a musician who played for Jammys. So me and Steely was always friends. Steely would come into Skateland. Steely would ride him bike, come to Skateland and come in the disco room and sit down and talk with me and You know, just all the vibes and buy with lunch and, you know, and still used to always say, you know, some more I can play with someone, you know. More I can play with someone. What I used to take him serious. So eventually, he sit down with me and I'm like, no, sir. You see that style of play there, more you bring it come on August Stone, come play Silver Arc, you know. So that's all the link with me and Steely, really, you know, that's how it started. You know, Steely came up on the bike back to August Stone. I introduced me to a different set of generals again. Because August Stone is a beast within itself, you know. So here we go again, a little young youth again, littlest youth again, pan Silver Arc. Yep.
Okay, so you were playing Silverhawk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You remember when you got this? Who else was playing Silverhawk at that time there?
Well, when I got Silverhawk, it was Ballsy. And I used to have another youth named Baba. Baba used to be like, you know, Baba never used to play the sound, but he was a part of the sound. You know, if you say Ballsy, you say Baba. There's a company. So there's two people apart, and that's how it used to go. I don't remember anybody else used to play. That's all I can remember. Ballsy playing the song, because when we started, that was me and him. Yeah. There was no third person.
You remember any nights in particular on a song now like Silverhawk? Because Skateland is nice. You have your nice heat wave at Skateland. But what about now when you're on this big bad Silverhawk? You remember any nights on Silverhawk?
Yes. I remember the first time Stone Love dead. I can only call it as is. I remember the first night Stone Love get killed. Right? It was inside a house in Leo. Myself and Ballsy playing Silverhawk. Yeah. The little young youth from Skateland, the little Marga brother. Yeah. Because Silverhawk was nobody is not used to hearing Silverhawk playing a bunch of dubs, mixing back to back, fire for fire, right? Because they used to Ballsy playing from the intro all the way down, and then next song from the intro all the way down. Now they made a big band special, like a mix up, you know? So that was the first time Stone Love really get trampled. Yep. I want to be a job. I couldn't even look for Weepo. I couldn't look for Weepo for a minute, you know?
Yeah. Because Weepo clearly knows who you are at this time here already.
Yeah, because I cut all the Stone Love dub, almost every last Stone Love dub now is me still on cut it because I'm come and Jammys and I know so I mean more if I could cut him dub plate there.
And you came and dealt with them thing there. You remember any other night while playing Silverhawk?
I remember playing what Silverhawk played with against Inner City. And that was a dance where I tried to run from, because you know Mark, Wally, Richie, and Danny, those are my key friends. So even though some folks was looking at it like a clash dance, me kind of play that dance to make it seem like more like a friendly thing than anything else. Because like I said, those guys are more friends to me than Steely and Ballsy. So never want to cross. He has never want to mess up a good friendship in a one night. Because but it was a good dance though.
Were you talking on
Silverhawk? Drop.
At this time, you were talking on Silverhawk, or you were just selecting the song and Ballsy was
just playing music. Just playing music. Ballsy is the man where them time the Ballsy had the animal, the war animal. And the man that talk you fret.
No. Big there. Because you weren't on Silverhawk for a long time though.
No.
Yeah. It was past you. You brought them up Inner City because I knew you had something to do with Inner City. Tell me how that whole link even came wrong in the first place.
Well, Inner City started traveling a lot. And since I cut the dub them for Wally, I basically know the dub them. So sometimes Mark and Danny overseas and it's Richie leave back with the sound. So, going on a Spanish Town Road on a Monday, go and play music. Me just pack up my little box. I'm going to play music. Yep. And from even going down there on a Monday night, I put some serious people in the music business right now. Because good old Maggie.
Yeah.
Good old Maggie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maggie started out from inner city. Because when everybody gone, and we're playing the music at the earliest, man want to play music. Yeah, man love the music, I want to play music just like myself, but the same love and the same drive. So, hey, man want to play some music. Hey, go and play some music, yeah, my brother. Go and play some music, man. And play music. And I'm reach which part to reach right now.
That's crazy there. So inner city around them for a while too. Even with Bobby Digital now. 'Cause remember, you're playing the Heat Wave from Skateland. Did you actually play Bobby Digital's Heat Waves for a time also?
I don't know how I play so much sound, but people always call me, I want my energy. They always call me, Snakey, yo, more if I'm play so I'd say, X amount of money, we can give X amount of money. I would not turn down the money, because all money are good money, So, on a Sunday night, we finish at Skateland will finish like at 11 o'clock. When they Waterhouse, done at E-Wave number 2. And then we'll finish, and then we'll rock E-Wave. We'll rock E-Wave straight to 4 o'clock in the morning, and then funniest thing about Waterhouse, I don't know these people, but them people put me up in their house. Because I must go check my for their Jammys 9 o'clock, put me up in their house. Wake up, beard, breakfast me get. I'm going to Jammys. And them people, I don't know them. I just love the people I want to host.
That's a big
Sometime on a Sunday night, I finish at Skateland. Me and them say a taxi outside for me. A taxi for which part, brother? Them say, yo, man, them wife come play down at the garden, Boss wife come play, the boss wife come play down there. So I gone down the and play. And I saw the name Snakey started. Because when me start doing this in 1991, nobody was leaving as an individual to go play out. It's either a sound system of player or nobody. Well, in the early 1991, it would be an inner city player or a sound player for which part ever, and Snakey. It used to be and Snakey.
Yeah.
Because Snakey come down with them dub to it, ramp with Snakey, Me come with dub them too.
Well, it would make sense, because if you're in Jammys, clearly you have access to all these.
Yes.
You work with Bobby and Mikey Benny. So clearly you have a link for all the dubs you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's big.
Remember look at dub box though. When me come play, me a juggle. It's almost like the sound would play, and then another sound play, but the other sound would have been Snakey.
Got you. As a DJ or as a selector, them types.
Yeah, and that is how the thing start. No, there is a Fire Links, there's a Mataran, there's a Super Twitch, right? There's a Jazzy T, and look how the thing is Jazzy T, me say play, and me walking a dance, and the man stop and acknowledge the thing about people know, say, yo, it's a brother there. I him start the thing. The same thing with Twitch, very few people will acknowledge it, but that's which part it start.
For sure.
When me started, nobody else never do it.
You're just...
Because as far as IRFM, reach IRFM as Snakey, right? I go leave IRFM, I go on Acropolis nightclub as Snakey, not as a sound, but as Snakey,
I didn't realize you were playing on IRFM at one time also too.
No, just as guest for Mighty Mike.
Got you.
But coming as a guest, coming not as a sound, but as Snakey.
Yeah. That's
big up Susie Q.
Yes, man. Super random. Why did Bobby Digital decide to name the song Heat Wave in the first place, knowing that there's a heat wave at Skateland in the first place?
I don't know why, because I don't know. I couldn't answer that question. I never asked Bobby,
Yeah.
I never asked Bobby why. They would say heat wave, and they would say little heat wave at Skateland.
Yeah.
That's how they would classify it. They would say heat wave, and just leave it as heat wave. When a man just hear heat wave alone, they know about the machine from Waterhouse. And I'm saying, little heat wave at Skateland. They know say, look at dangerous juggling machine that.
Yeah. Crazy. Big there. Doing all this stuff, wonderful stuff. Why did you decide to now migrate to the States? And this is while you're still doing massive amount of stuff, you know. Why did you decide at this point in your career you want to migrate?
You know, thanks to my dad. My dad actually, you know, my dad came to America first, and you know, get settled, and then you know, send for him family. You know, so you know, I came to America on the last day of my petition.
Yeah,
the very last day. If the man at the desk looked at me and said, "Son, if your flight was delayed, your parents will have to do this whole paperwork all over again." Because I came on I never want to leave because everything was good. I'm playing. No, let me just recap. I'm working at Jammys, freelancing. By now I'm freelancing at Jammys. Me freelance over music works with Mikey Bennett. I'm at Bobby Digital Studio, Scorpio Studio. Me have a look at one session of mixing lab. Me have a run go down a Grove, down a Ochi. I'm still doing my overnight at JBC FM. Me I play a Skateland. Me don't know how and God hurt me do this, cause up until this time we don't figure out how I sleep here to do. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. Sleep when you can. Yeah, but you know, my dad, you know, my dad filed for you know, for us, and my dad for leave. It's either I leave or I lose the opportunity. So I came to America on the last day.
And you figured America, even though all of this stuff is happening for you in Jamaica, you still figured that America had a bigger opportunity for you.
Well, so I thought. So I thought. Because I don't want to call anybody name, but I'm just gonna give you an example. While visiting the US on tour, a friend of mine with a studio said, "Yo, anytime you come to America, you know, right, that's why you have to come work." So I was always thinking that, okay, when we reach America, I have a job. I'm good to go. I don't need to worry about nothing. So here it is now. I'm in America for a week. And I made it to go see this friend of mine. And when I walk in, I'm saying, "Yo, you know, my day, I know I'm ready, you know." I was hit with, "Why? You want to see?" That was the first of many. First of many letdown in America. And then I started realizing that, you know something? Music business in America is not like music business in Jamaica. Yeah, it's a rude awakening. So the level of disappointment was really high.
Yeah, especially you coming off of this high here. So this was the time when you decided to join the military at this time here, no?
No, not yet. So at this point, I heard a friend of mine was like, "Yo, specialist office there, man," you know. So, you know, like the second week of me being here, I call a specialist. So, "Yo, so Dylan, father," and everybody a father them time, you know. So, "Yo, father, but there in New York, you know." I say, "Yeah." I say, "Yeah, I live in New York now." I say, "Yeah." I say, "Come check me right now." So I make my way up to West 56th Street, 8th Avenue. So we reach, the specialist greet me. A nice greetings. So yeah, you believe that the same man of them said it well.
I remember the last time you saw him, you thought he just walked away. So you didn't know what is going to happen.
I never know what was going to happen. So this is the same person. Himself come check him, so I'm gonna check him. So him come out and him embrace me. I'm say, Well, go on. Him laugh. Him take 2 steps and look and say, I'm here the boss. Let me tell them, sir, if I fire you, and fire you. I mean, I look for them good, you know. I mean, I say, I wonder if my ear was just here a while ago. Him say, me tell Jeremy for fire you and Jeremy fire you. I'm here the boss. I'm here to pay the bills. Him say, anyway, no watch the face. You have to work for me as of right now. I'm going to go to the office and come back with some paper when I say, sign this. Spec-Shang you work for from now on. I'm still stood up there, mouth wide open, still up and said, imagine that. Look, I'm going to go through Jamaica. Me hear someone and look for me to beat me. Me hear some thief song. Me hear some me a sell song. All these things, you know. Only because a man with power was able to tell another man, say, yo, me vex how certain thing get leaked. So let's get rid of the man then. And instead of Jermaine fight for him worker, instead of the man fight for him worker, I said, Snake, you know, another kind of person there. You know? But that's why I go still. You know, Jermaine give me an opportunity to learn another level of engineering. So me give him credit. Me not all against him. Yeah, me not all against him. That's how it go. Sometimes people are influenced by money. That's how we can say.
That's how it goes. Because as Specialist said, he's paying the bills. You understand?
Yeah.
So you get it there. So then now the funny thing with it, because even Spec-Shang now, most people that was involved with Spec-Shang, it was through Jamaica. So for you to even get signed to the company through America, that right there in itself is a big feat right there. You understand?
Yeah. And it was, you know, just now I'm traveling, representing Specialists up and down, back and forth to Jamaica now. You know, and now I'm going back to Jamaica, I'm not talk to nobody. Me not talk to nobody, me just walk past them. Because, you know, we got to Jamaica, you know, come record Patra. You know, up and down, you know.
So you were a singer, you were hired on as the engineer now, the Spec-Shang engineer.
Yeah, because Tony Kelly used to work for, Tony Kelly was also an engineer for Specialists.
Okay.
So that's like, you know, like another, you know, family member I'm working with. So, you know, it was just like, you know, just like back in the days at Penthouse, you know, just overseas.
And at this time, did Patra and Shabba and everybody get the break at this time, or they were about to get the break?
Well, Shabba was already established. Patra was getting, Patra started, the buzz was there for Patra, but no, we're hitting the road touring. We're taking it to another level right now. We're bringing Patra to all these cities, you know, and countries.
So it was because when it came to Spec-Shang, the 4 monsters that came out of Spec-Shang that time, Shabba was on top, and then Patra, Richie Stephens, and Mad Cobra. Those were the 4 big ones. And then under that, now you had like the Ghost and Culture, the Doogsy Ranks came in after. There was so many of them, but it was Shabba, Patra, Richie Stephens, and Cobra. That was a whole ensemble right there.
Yeah, because Shabba had Soji, engineer Soji, and still as his front of house and monitor engineer. Those were already established. So when I step in as Patra engineer.
Okay.
So right in line. I'm right, you know, like next in line. So I'm there with Patra, and if Cobra have shows, you know, we run good Cobra show, you know.
What were those early Patra shows like back then?
Oh, those are good shows because right that when Patra got her break, Shabba started to ease off the road a little bit. So now we have Rough Cut out with Patra, and you know, Rough Cut is one serious band, you know. So it was good. It was really good. It was a real fun experience.
Because how long were you with Spec-Shang for?
Up until from 92 until 95, you know, when I joined in service.
Okay, so then you had a good run with Spec-Shang there.
Oh yeah.
But you said you were on the road with Patra because Shabba already had his life.
Yeah, Shabba had soldiers steady and still steady. But we were still under the we were still under the same umbrella. So, Patra, they said, work with Patra. And that was fun. I was still under the same umbrella because sometimes they both end up on the same show.
Just like that. Because even when it came to studio works now, did you do any studio work with Spec-Shang?
For Spec-Shang, funny, when the two albums that Shabba did, the two albums that Shabba did, I did work on those. But because of the incident with that same incident with the song, my credit was stripped. Yeah, they take off my name off of the project.
Okay, so you're working on Spec-Shang stuff from before because
from in Jamaica, yeah, from in Jamaica.
Yes, it all makes sense. Yeah. So then
from in Jamaica.
Those two albums you had worked on. So did you work on Patra's album also?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Mad Cobra and Richie Stephens, their album also?
Yep. But I remember Richie Stephens, the last time I recorded for Richie Stephens. I don't know still about Richie, I come from money. Richie Stephens told me some specialist me pay me. That song that he did Richie Stephens and Cobra.
Yes.
Legacy. Oh, why you like a singing of it? Stop crying. Yep.
Yeah. Tell me 2 or 3 shows that you remember working on the road in that time period there that you'll never forget.
Okay. I remember I did this show in Washington, D.C. with Cobra. I was in Jamaica I went in Jamaica getting ready to do some Sunsplash. Sunsplash with Patra, but Cobra had a show, so we had the time off. So, they put me on a flight with Cobra and we run from a DC for doing it. But when we coming out of the show, the early morning, it was like a shootout on the outside. It was I couldn't understand what was going on because the show was such a good show. Everybody was happy. And outside it was just like ridiculous, a big shootout. So I asked myself, what could cause something like this? A show where I'm gonna mash up this place where everybody had jump every song. So, then we start realizing though that music is something that make people laugh and make people cry. Because people would lay down flat on the ground outside. And I couldn't understand what was happening. That was one of the things. And another thing now is we do a show. We do a show in Miami. Specialists put on a show in Miami. And I was always doing front of house engineering. And for this show in Miami, for the first time I decided I'm gonna do monitors. First time actually taking a good look on a monitor board. It looked puzzling because it's a lot of knobs compared to a front of house desk.
Yeah.
But nobody never know that I never done monitor before. Nobody don't know. So Soji was there and still was there. So now me decide say, okay, me I mix monitor for the show. I don't know what gave me the great idea, but I did it. I figured it out right at showtime how this thing work, and I did it. And from me do that, and then everybody was like, yo, my stage so nice tonight. I tell myself that there's nothing else in music where gonna slow me down.
And did you see somebody do it before? What made you decide I'm going to try this and it actually worked?
Well, Soji was there for the event. Rough Cut Band was playing and Soji was going to mix front of house, so there was no work for me. And I want work. It won't work. So I decided to me, I gotta take the monitor console. So I go mix monitor. Yeah. And from that day on, I have a special love for monitor work on stage.
Yeah.
I realize how technical it is, how important it is.
But you see, this is another level you reach in your career right now again. You understand?
Yeah.
And a lot of your levels that you seem to go to, they just seem to be either somebody said something quickly or somebody was missing. You had to take a place where you need to. It was nothing really intentional, but you just happened to do it, right? And it
just drop it.
Give me one more show you remember that time, the Spec-Shang time.
We do so much show. Well, this is going to be more funny than anything else. We was doing a show in Bahamas, and security came to me and touched me on my shoulder and said, "We're gonna ask you to if you can turn off the microphone that you're using on the stage." So I turn and I look at him and say, "Oh, but for turn off the microphone I use on the stage, boss." So it's like, the planes that are coming in is hearing what is going on the stage. So they're picking up the frequency what we are using down on the ground. So I think that was so funny. That was I don't know why I find that to be so funny. But it was so funny to me. That was working with Patra. That was so funny. I couldn't understand that.
Like,
it took me a while to understand frequencies, I think that travel. But then I just couldn't understand a pilot coming into land, hearing Patra and DJ.
At all. You understand? At all. Did your stuff with Spec-Shang, everything was good. 95, you decided to join the military. Why did you even end up leaving Spec-Shang? And then was it something where you left and want to go join right away? Or there was a break in between before joining the military?
No, there was no break in it. You know, we used to do a lot of traveling for Spec-Shang. A lot of traveling. A lot of unknowns travel. You know, get a phone call. Yo, come get them tape in, patch up a session, mixing lab, 11 o'clock. You're up on a 6 o'clock flight. You know, stuff like that. And we get tired, you know. Just walk past one day and say, Army Recruitment Center and just turning it. Another door. We just walk through the door. And that was that.
Yeah. And you were, remember, even though, yeah, you're traveling a lot and all this, but you still now have this big career with this massive company, you know, and you just decide to walk into the military and say, yo, let me just try this now?
Yeah, and it's a couple more things was leading up to it, you know, because living with my parents, you know, we only do studio work at night. It's something about studio, it only happened at night. So sometimes you come home in the early morning and you warm up some food and the microwave make some noise and Big Daddy asleep and the thing, so wake up father, I never like it. And one of the things is, I never ever disrespect my parents. But I've never backtalked my parents then, and I won't do it now. So before me and my father fall out, I decided me I take the first chance I get out of the house, me I ease out. Because I don't want to disrespect my father in their own house. So that was just my way of deciding, you know, more go out on my own now. I don't know why I'm joining the military, but I'm joining the military.
Was military something that you liked as a kid growing up, something you wanted to try sometime?
I tried 3 times to go in at a JDA for Jamaica.
Okay.
3 times, yeah. The last time me and my friend from school decided to wear a turn soldier. And remember, we still me do music and all these good things and everything nice is happening. But we still say me have a turn soldier. So we give my friend a skipping at the line. Then it's sometimes you just follow the sign. We keep on skipping at the line with their JDF. And the line I go through about accept people. And they took my friend who was in front of me. I said that was it. Them now take nobody else.
Yo.
So if I never give my friend a skip, me and you wouldn't have this conversation right now. Me give a skip and them take him and never take me.
That's crazy. The line stopped in front of you, so it's basically you gave up your space.
Yeah. Yep.
That's wild. When you joined the military now, what position were you actually in at that time there?
I was a specialist in the army. You know, specialist is a rank. We made it up the rank to up to specialist.
Okay. And that's like, because again, I know nothing about the military, so I'm not even sure what a specialist is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like 4 ranks up from a private, you know? It's just coming up the line.
And how long did you do military for?
95, got out 99.
Okay, so you did a 4 years, because it's usually 4 years.
I did a term.
Did you go on any tours?
No, you know.
Yeah.
God was good to me. God was good to me. He gave me what I needed, a start in life, and that was it.
Yeah. Okay, so then now, did the military, all this came out, you're in the US now. So then now, this is 4 years at passing. You're not into music at all. So after you got out of the military, what was your next move now? Was it to get back into music, continue a different path? What did you do when you got out of the military?
Well, I started my connection back in the music like I never left. I got a job working at the hospital. And shortly thereafter, I left that job to go on tour.
Go on tour with who at this time?
Kimani Marley.
How did you link with Kimani Marley in the first place?
Back with Spec-Shang. Back with Spec-Shang, like I never left.
Yeah. And that was good there. And what other stuff were you guys doing at this time now when you got back to Spec-Shang?
It's a lot of stuff happened because I did a tour with Kimani, and I left the hospital, and right after I leave the hospital and start touring with Kimani, here comes the Twin Tower falling down. So now I gave up my work at the hospital, coming out of the army, coming home, getting a nice job at the hospital, giving it away to go back on tour with Kimani, and then Twin Tower fell. Kimani tour got cancelled. No job at the hospital. So you know that was like a punishment in life, you know. That was tough times right there.
So it was you're probably off the road for probably a year or so at that time there?
No, more. Because after that, it was like musical drought. Not much was happening.
So what were you doing in the meantime now? You're not at the hospital, you're not touring. What are you doing to really support yourself at this time here now?
No, I start working with Irie Jam. Radio station back local radio station. Irie Jam.
And you're back as an engineer. As an engineer. You've done listen to me. You've done so much, and there's still a massive section of what you've done that we didn't get to. We're getting there just now, but it's like the amount of stuff that you've done, it's mind-boggling, bro. And it's like, yeah, I did some of this, yeah, I did some of that. Went on this tour here, went on that there, bam. Yeah, Irie, doing the engineer. How long were you at Irie Jam for? I
was at Irie Jam for a few years ago, doing behind the scene engineering. Took Irie Jam from analog into digital.
Okay.
No, they was using the cards to play commercials.
Yeah.
You know, I went to Irie Jam, took them from that into computerized programming. And the stuff that I did for Irie Jam, starting 2003, still being used up until this day.
There you started. Something I never asked you in this whole conversation. Did you ever go to school for any of this stuff here?
No. Never.
Never.
I believe you me, I've sat places where you need a master's degree to sit.
Boy, sir. Okay, so then now I want to go to this next level that you've been in right now. When it came to, I want to know how a boy from East Kingston ended up working for CBS and 106 in Park. How did that connection, East Kingston to 106 in Park, BET, CBS, how did that happen, boss?
Well, I'm working in still doing my engineering around locally in New York City, right? I became a part of the union, the local one in New York. So I asked the president of the union, I say I'm a very skilled engineer, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get to where you want. So I said, sir, can you please keep it in mind? Whenever there's an engineering position opening up anywhere, just please remember me. He said, okay, I will. I thought he forgot. Called me one day and asked me, he said, I can get you a job at CBS. But it's pulling the curtain. I said, of course. You know me, I'm taking a job. Yeah. I'll pull the curtain. So I pull the curtain for that AJ and Free go out. Pull the curtain.
That's literally
that's the job.
That was a job. Was literally
that was a job. So from there was a situation going on where there was a noise, a feedback, so to speak. And I hear the noise, and I hear the noise, and I hear the noise. And I said, why the engineer not fix the feedback? And I say, yo, we've been looking for engineer, and they can't find an engineer who can fix that. Mister, we can't fix that. A simple thing not to fix. And then nobody now pay me the money because I'm the guy who pulled the curtain. So I had another friend who was working he was working there at another show. So they asked him, the brother went up on the curtain, say him know about this and him can't fix it. You know anything about him? So my friend Tony said, bad engineer. So now they come back to me now. They come back to me, so me get ready for pull the curtain. Them said, no. Them said, you can get, you know what else, you know what that nice is, you can get rid of that?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I'm saying, all right, get rid of it. Go behind the board, go on the equalizer, click. Adjust to frequency. Tell them to pass the mic in front of the monitor again. They put the mic in front of the monitor, no nice, clean as a whistle. So they come back and them say, we want you to be an assistant monitor engineer for 106 in Park. You're going to be working with a friend called Tony Rollins. I say, yes. So they say, okay, hold on, one more thing. Them say, before you touch this equipment, you have to be sworn into a union. So them get me into a union right there on the spot. So no, I only walk past the curtain because somebody else is pulling the curtain when I go up to the curtain. No. I am no engineer for CBS television working 106 and Park.
Boss, from the man, literally. I thought you were joking when you said pulling the curtain. I thought it was something else. Literally the man pulling the curtain to the engineer. But what's the chances of that, bro?
The last person I pulled the curtain for was Viola Davis, Miss Viola Davis. Yep.
That's super. And again, it's just because this thing was making a humming noise. You fixed it and said, hey,
I could take care of this. Yeah, get out of here. Go pull the curtain somewhere, boss. I mean, they asked around and it was true. And boom, got it. That's crazy.
Yep.
So then you got on board. So then it was the AJ and Free era of 106 that you were dealing with, not the Bow Wow.
Nah, that was before Bow Wow.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember any particular artists or guests that you remember seeing on 106 at that time there?
Oh man, 106 and Park had everybody coming. I remember even doing the reggae event with Wayne Wonder and Tonto Metro and all of them. They did a reggae show, and I saw all my people. So everybody, all my people was up in the building.
How was it actually in the building? That's what I'm saying now. So how was it to see for them to look like? Hold on.
It was a happy vibe. It's always a very happy feeling when you see your own come up in 106 and Park.
Because you know that's very hip hop and R&B centric. So for you to see a dance hall or a reggae act, you're more than ecstatic at that point there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And sometimes they would have like a reggae event coming up, and they would have a special guest, Bobby Condas and Jabba. We'll come in for a special show or a special, maybe one of 3 shows that we record for the day may have Bobby Condas and Jabba. So that's more my family right there.
Crazy. And how long did the situation with 106 last for?
Eventually 106 and Park got canceled. But I did it for a few years well. Met a lot of folks. I met a lot of folks, man. A lot of folks from the Chris Brown, the Drakes, all the K Michelle, the everybody we can think of. I have the pictures with so much folks. The Game came through 50 Cent, Jamie Foxx, everybody who was someone, just like in a recording studio, everybody who was somebody come to the studio, everybody who was somebody come to 106 and Park.
But then you see, first you were in the reggae world and you're seeing all the who's of who's, and then now you went into the hip hop and R&B world and you're seeing the who's of who's at this point here also.
And I used to also work as a head engineer for Lehman College Concert Hall, and that's where I met R&B sensation Joe.
Yes, because I know out of everybody you worked with a lot of people, but it seemed like who you have like a good working relationship with is Joe.
Joe, yeah, I worked with Joe for many years, and Joe job came about as one Saturday they was doing what's known as a track show. It was coming in with a band, only himself and tracks. So I didn't want to go to work. I never feel like going to work. Well, but eventually I ended up going to work. Them call them and say, all right, me come. So I wasn't putting in too much effort into the event because, like I said, it was a track show. You don't need to do an extra nothing. Just push up 2 faders and open the mic, and that's a show. While doing the show, his manager came to me and said, Joe said he liked the sound that he's getting. I said, okay. So 3/4 way down the show, the manager came back again. I said, Joe wants you on the road. So, these are R&B folks. I've never dealt with R&B folks before, so I never take it as anything. And just after the show, and call me and say, and give him number. I said, call me Monday morning. So Monday morning, I call, and then say, Joe's putting together a band. Can you meet us at the rear? And I gave the name of the rehearsal hall. Walk into the rehearsal room. Joe wasn't there, but another guy was there. So this guy was like, Joe said you must put a band together. Put a band together. I said, huh? Joe said, Joe found my band, you know, put the band together and select the band. So I get put into a position where we'll put a band together. And we'll put the band together, and it was just like clockwork. Right there, the next week, we're going on tour. So I'm just doing a show that I never wanted to do.
A track show, and then that led to you putting together Joe's band and going on tour.
I'm going on tour. All because he said the sound that he was getting, the texture of the sound, because I'm giving you a flavor of, you know, like a Jamaican flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is how I balance. I balance a stage, a very rugged stage. You know, you can feel my music across the stage. So he liked that. Yes, and that's what I always said. That reggae feel to R&B. I brought that reggae feel to R&B music.
That's wild, bro. And you guys hit the road tour. How many tours did you do with Joe?
Oh my gosh, man. How much tour I didn't do. We stayed on the road.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed on the road. When we're not touring like back to back, we did shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Non-stop.
With Joe, boss. And that's crazy. From a track show, okay, I'll just push this here, put this here, till I'm touring across the globe with this man right here. That's insane, bro. I know somebody else that you connected with, I think, around the same time too, would have been New Edition, the group New Edition.
Yeah, we toured with New Edition toured with Joe.
Okay.
So Joe was opening for New Edition.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. And once I remember New Edition, we did our sound check.
Mm-hmm.
And New Edition was standing behind me while I was in Virginia Beach. They all was standing behind me. So when we finished our sound check and I saved my stuff on the console and I was walking away, I hear them asking their engineer, "Why you can't get your stuff to sound like this?" And I remember Joe is the opening act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so wild, because I even seen you some pictures with you and Bobby Brown, and it seems like you and Bobby Brown has a good link also.
I always tell everybody, you see, Bobby Brown is misunderstood. Yeah, I remember one time we was on tour and we was in North Carolina and we was sitting down outside between sound check and I was talking to Bobby and I was letting him know, man, yo, for somebody whose name is tarnished across media, you never open your mouth and said anything other than, you know, hello and bye. So I was giving him credit because at that time he was getting all the beating for his wife. And he never opened his mouth and say anything. But just always think he's misunderstood. So of everybody of New Edition, that's the one person who me really rate.
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown.
Crazy. Big there. Who else? So was Joe you went on tour with? New Edition. Who else? The American acts did you go on tour with also?
R&B sensation Mario, and then to top it off, I did the Almaquay All Stars. That's a breakdown of Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yes. How did that even happen?
How did that happen? My friend, it's a combination of guys who we did couple of shows in Africa with Almaquay production personnel. So he knew my capability, and when they needed a monitor engineer, they reached out, and I was available, so I did it, and it was fun because that's a different kind of music all over again.
And again, this is
Why your life is nothing short of I don't even have a word to tell you what it's short of. It's just that wild. And then now we're gonna go into a circle and come back with somebody that's been in your career from the beginning, Shabba Ranks. How did you now connect back with Shabba Ranks and now you became his engineer? How did that happen?
Well, like I said, I've known Shabba Ranks since 87. Since 87. So, working with Shabba from the dub room, cutting stuff for Blackstone, unique stuff for Blackstone. I would push him and say, yo, do this the way, for Blackstone. Shabba have him Eagle Eye song. I said, twist up this and do it that way for Blackstone. So we have that little creative connection. And it's the same thing working at Bobby Digital Studio and even when we took Shabba to Music Works to same Bobby Digital project, but we started working at Music Works. That bond was there. Shabba know, so it can always depend on me for record him, give him pointers, and me no lie to him. Me no lie to him. If it is not right, me I gonna make him know say it's not right. We're gonna do it again, and we're gonna do it that way. And somebody's a man who like this, him like when you're loyal. And if him knows if we're at work, we're at work. And him is a dependable person. So throughout the years I've always been dependable, and Shabba is a man where that's what fuels Shabba, him like to be surrounded by people who him can trust. So we never lose that bond throughout the years and working with him on the tour, and when he no longer tour with Spec-Shang and I'm doing own thing, him keep me as an engineer. And right now Shabba do anything, I handle everything for them. Sometime me even take up the role, unspoken role, stepping out of the management position, right? Me still consult with his wife, you don't overstep anybody.
For sure.
Yeah, but my consult with her and tell her so we deal with so and so, and we deal with it. We just make sure say him comfortable, everything will happen, and in performance is all about for about is in performance. We take care of everything else.
Crazy, because I know one of the bigger shows you guys did lately was Radio City Music. Oh, him, Shabba, Chaka Demus, Barrington Levy, all of them. How was that show there? That show now?
No, that's the show. That's the show. And somebody just called me and said we have a show in February, and then while dealing with the show February, the pandemic make a return. So that show was cancelled. So now here it comes back in May. So no, we have to make sure we're going a little bit hard now because no new artists is being added. Right? We have other artists, I wouldn't say competitive artists, but artists don't like another artist outshine them. So we have to make sure our show is 100. And that's exactly what we did. We put on a show. Yeah, we'll come together, we'll put ideas together, collective ideas, and we'll put on a show up until this day. People who missed the show still saying, oh mad them is that they missed the show.
I've seen him run out in the crowd doing ting-a-ling-a-ling and mashing up the crowd box.
That's for the story. All the energy was just bananas. Yep.
Big there. There was another pivotal moment in your career here where you won the Grammy for working with Burning Spear and Jairus Real in 2008. How did that come about? How did it actually feel now to get that Grammy for doing something you've been doing for the last how many years now?
Well, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. the album won the Grammy.
Mhm.
The album won the Grammy, but it is up to the actual artist and the artist management to actually purchase your own statue.
Okay.
You know, because the Grammy present one to Burning Spear. So though it's the artist and artist management determine that, okay, well, you know, we're going to buy more statues for these people who did the work. Other than that, you get the recognition certificate from the Grammy Association.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I have nice in my studio.
Mm.
So it was good because Burning Spear actually, I don't even know. Oh, Mr. Rodney get my number, but I just was at the phone ring one day, and he introduced himself as Mr. Rodney. I never even know his name was Mr. Rodney. Introduced himself as Mr. Rodney, and I tell me, and link up with him, and we did a couple of shows in Africa. His first show in Kenya. Me and Mr. Rodney, me and Mr. Spear go Kenya, go lock down Kenya and come back, and then we did that. We start working on the album. Yeah, and that album now we meet some different people like Bernie Worrell, a great keyboardist, one of the greatest keyboard players to do it. Greatest bass player to ever touch the face of this earth, Bootsy Collins. So a whole bunch of heavy hitters was on this album. So for the works we put in on that album, it was awarded a Grammy for it.
That's crazy. Hi, this is Mr. Rodney here. Can I speak to SNAKIE, please?
Well, that's exactly what he did. Yeah, man. Big up respect to Mr. Spear. I want to say, may I say him come out of retirement, so say, maybe I'll call him and make him know, As long as Mr. Gardner up on the road and Mr. Spear, ready for work again,
That is so massive. A lot of people hear about people like Burning Spear, but to work with somebody like a Burning Spear, that's next level altogether when it comes to reggae royalty.
Yeah, man, it was good. It was good. It's like I said, it's the whole professional side of the engineering that I learned along the way. Helped me to work with Burning Spear, because Burning Spear is different.
Mm-hmm.
And he, when I finished the work, he compliment me. So I appreciate it, because he said you're where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And them said that mean a lot to me doing this album.
Mm-hmm. Burning Spear.
Yeah, but I wasn't a celebrity. I was just the engineer. So my job is to sit around the board. And when he's ready, I am supposed to be ready when he's ready. And when the band is ready, I'm supposed to be ready. And that is all I did, And they love how it sounds. I'm saying, boy, this thing sound like it makes already,
When you have a gift, you have a gift. And when God loves you, he loves you. And clearly you have a gift, and God loves you, boss.
Yes, I thank him. Sometimes I don't even think I thank him enough, but I do thank him.
Yeah. And the amazing fact that you didn't go to school for none of this. This is something natural you learn. I'm pretty sure you read and you ask questions along the way, and you retain all this knowledge, and you've done this. That's nothing short of amazing, boss.
I've been on tour where they bring me a console that I've never seen before. And I just one thing I would never do though. Mm-hmm. One thing I would never do, and I tell young engineers coming up. Mm-hmm. Never tell somebody you don't know how this thing works. Because right there, that tell the person that maybe you don't know what you're doing. So I always advise youngsters coming up, never say that lie.
Yeah. I
get a console that I've never worked on before or never seen before. Sometimes I take a book. Mm-hmm. My little trick this I would take a book and I would put the book on the console. Mm-hmm. As if I am reading the book. I am not reading the book. I am looking at that console where everything is located on the console. Mm-hmm. So when we start work, I don't ask no question. I know where it is. I know where the compressors are. I know where the sends are. I know where my faders are. I know how to patch. I know where my bus channels are. that is just from looking at that book like I'm reading it. And that is what me tell people. Me tell my pastor down to even my son, I say, never tell somebody say you don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't do that. Because people will draw an assumption. Yep.
Figure it out. That's good. You almost have like a photographic memory or something like.
Almost, you know, almost. Because if I'm looking at something and I can't figure it out, if you tell me, that's it.
Yeah.
Once you point me in the direction, that's it.
Yeah. Boy, your thing there. I got 2 more questions before I even get you out of here now. I know right now you're on a radio station, fetdaysiradio.com. How did that come around?
Well, it's you know, I always love playing music. I love to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
That is like something that I love to do more than anything else. I love I love to play music.
Mm-hmm.
So the kind of music I like to play 80s, 90s. 80s, 90s music is the era of music that I really love. Into the 2000s, I like that era.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up, you know, getting introduced to this station. This station truly fit me because they play 70s, 80s, 90s, and some stop at the 2000s. So you know, the style of music that they want, the kind of music, the way they want the music to be presented, is my style. That is my style, like a teen jam kind of vibe. So you know, I got introduced to by a good friend of mine, Paul. You know, introduced me to Squeeze, and you know, we just kick off our friendship from there. You know, and you know, I can now, you know, display my talent, you know, in full, you know, for both you know, both by just by the radio or by the video.
Mm-hmm.
Folks can actually see me in action.
It's you've done so much. What's left for you to do in this business right now?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I can't say I've done it all.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I've done it all, but you know, it's just so much that I've done, and a lot of folks don't even know that I'm a part of these things. I just want my recognition, because I strongly believe that credit is better than a paycheck. That is something that I believe in. That acknowledgement is always better than a paycheck. A paycheck will finish, but acknowledgement will live on. As long as somebody can read the credit, your name will forever live on. Nobody remember that they pay you $500 to mix a song.
But that's what I was gonna say. A paycheck, that's a one-time cash out. But with credit, that's almost like infinity. You could continue to cash out of that infinity amount.
Yeah, I want it to be known that before there was XYZ playing in World Clash as an individual, it was started in 91. Right? It was started in 91 when this little one dude leaves Skateland and go play One Away. You know, people should know that and remember that, you know, and credit stuff like that.
Wow, crazy. There was one part of the story where we said we're going to circle back, but we passed that a long time. But I want to close up that part there. When you said that how you felt about Jermaine, but then you went back to Jamaica and you linked back with him. How did that happen, and what happened with that situation there?
Yeah, but just go back to Jamaica and just go back to Penthouse. Just go check him. Just go check him. By then I'm a grown man. You know, we call him out and we talk to him. You know, he had set up an interview once. He set up an interview where I can't remember the name of the person that actually interviewed me about my career, my time at Penthouse. I didn't want to put bygones, you know, because it done gone by it can't change. It can't change, you know. I just wish they had dealt with it professionally, you know. Deal with it, you know, like, you know, defend your worker. But that's how it goes still.
If he did, you probably wouldn't end up at CBS. You would have probably still have been at Penthouse right now.
That is true, That's true. Sometimes something have to happen bad for something good to really come out of it.
For many good things to come out of it. You understand?
Oh man, there's so much to talk about, and time is just running. Because we're not even finished talking about Blackstone, we're not even finished talking about Skateland, we're not even finished talking about Jammys. Only
I think
we have a book of whole evening.
But that's what I'm saying. You see, this conversation here, this is a good reference for what you've done. There's going to be more conversations we're going to have in the future moving forward to fill in more of the reference, but this is a good reference point for somebody that's being introduced to SNAKIE as we heard the name. Now, this is a story. This is an amazing reference point right here.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely got a big up Fretty for making this happen. You know, I'm big up Fretty. For making this happen.
Big up Fretty, original East, big up all East, all over East region. We all started out as one little circle. We in one, Frankie Sly, Weber from the East also,
Enough of the man them. Right now, the floor is yours 100%. Before I get you out of here, anything you want to say, anybody you want to big up, leave some contact information where they want to check you out on social media, anything. The floor is yours 100% right now.
Definitely for use this opportunity and say, thanks to my wife, Paula, for 30 plus years. She's been there. She know the struggle, she know the fight, she know the ups, she know the down. So I just want to give her a big shout out and tell her thank you. As I don't know how she do it. I'll big up the family, I'll big up my family, and we have some good support friends along the way. It's too much to mention. We just want to big up. I don't even, it doesn't even make sense to start calling them, because if we start calling names out tomorrow evening, we're still not talking them. So we just want to make sure, take care of the household, take care of my family, And then you can, you always can reach me on Facebook. Meet up on Facebook morning, noon, and night. Just look for Donovan DJ SNAKIE Simmons. That's me, Donovan DJ SNAKIE Simmons. Or if you're an IG person, it's SNAKIE Da Legend. For IG.
All the info is there. SNAKIE Da Legend. Thank you so much for sitting down and actually allowing us to see things how you've seen it. Epic conversation, epic journey. And the fact that you've been able to touch so many different parts of the industry and just continue to move forward, and you're still so youthful, and you can still see that you have so much further to keep going. It's amazing, boss. Thank you for sitting down and doing this. You know what I mean? Today, we gave you your flowers. You understand?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. No, SNAKIE, thank you so much for sitting down. As I said, we still have part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to do.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
So this right here is the good
anytime.
I'm forgetting. SNAKIE, let me give you an outro and get you out there, because this conversation, epic conversation. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.